ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
Hi, I'm Ralph Romano.
And I'm Neil Lynch.
And we're the Weekend Warriors.
Ralph, I think we should change the name of our show.
To what?
Let's call it 30 Years Sports Talk Interview Fun Time.
What kind of name is that?
Well, we've been friends for over 30 years.
Yeah.
We talk about sports.
Sure.
We interview personalities from the Arizona sports scene.
Okay.
And we have fun.
Dude, are you done?
For now, yes.
Look, Neil, all this is true, but let's just stick to our regular name.
Okay, Ralph, but I think my name is better.
Anyways, it's the Weekend Warriors every Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Need a boost in capital or a flexible line of credit for your growing business? Hi, I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital. I can help you get the money you need fast. The process is a breeze with a simple application and same-day approvals. No more waiting, no more hassle. Just a straightforward path to securing the funds you need faster and easier than asking your banker. So call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every basket, every game, every point, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a three-pointer at the buzzer to tie the game, or a player goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
Screen time's over.
Be home by 11?
Put your phone down while we're eating.
When parents set boundaries, keep track of where their kids go, and talk to them about the dangers of underage drinking and drugs, they keep their kids safe. Visit TalkNowAZ.com. Be the influence. Talk early. Talk often. Talk now.
Thanks. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM. Wherever you go, take us along. Listen to our live stream on our free Fanatic app. Download it today.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Wednesday here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, broadcasting live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Today is Juneteenth, and we did not figure out a good way to, help Keon in his celebration of it, because as you can see, he's actually here today. We were batting around some ideas, but I think I've come up with something that might be a nice gesture, Randy. Here's what we do. Tomorrow, you run the board and let Keon go say hi to the gals from the Phoenix Mercury over at Tatum and Shea. What if we did that? Would that help make up for the fact that we sort of
Have you arranged
Blew it on
for the
Juneteenth?
ladies of the Mercury to be out at the Tatum and Shea to meet Keon Rose, the sexiest man in sports talk radio?
It wasn't me, although I would love to take credit for it. But no, the Phoenix Mercury players will be at the Fry's Food Store location at Tatum and Shea. That is tomorrow, starting at 3 p.m. You can go down there and say hello, grab a photo, see them in action at the Fry's Food Store, 4707 East Shea Boulevard in Phoenix, and that starts at 3 p.m. I say, Randy, you and I could just start the show. He could go say hello, spend some time saying hi, and then he can come on back to us, and then we can do the rest of the show. What do you guys think of that idea?
Well, that sounds fine to me. I mean,
if I have to come back and do the rest of the show, that's not a day off, is it?
You get to meet the Mercury.
Which is cool, but like that seems like more work.
Oh, well,
if I just show up and do the show, that's easier than if I went there, then came back here.
I'm just saying, I thought you'd like to meet the Mercury.
It would be cool, but you know,
it wasn't the time off part. It was the meeting the Mercury
part. Well, the whole point of the holiday makeup would be the time off part. I mean.
Yeah, I couldn't get you the pay. I couldn't get you the time off with pay part. So,
I mean, that would be cool, but it's so much more driving for me. I would just rather just drive here.
It's close. Shea and Tatum is pretty close to where we are.
Jeffrey didn't tell you is he's going to let you borrow his truck and go visit.
I
the
somehow
ladies.
don't
That's
think
what it is
he
right
didn't
there.
tell me that
Yeah.
because he won't.
Oh yeah, he's going to let you.
Sorry, I'm driving under a bridge right now. Like, what?
He didn't mention that, and he failed to mention it, I think, on purpose.
Yeah. Not
What
gonna
was that?
happen.
My headphones dropped out for a second. There. What?
Randy's gonna loan you his car? What? So I just thought it was. I don't know. I listen. We're working ideas, and listen.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that you need to understand about us and everyone is Juneteenth is sort of newly. At least
Nationally celebrated.
nationally, it's a newly sort of realized thing. Which now I get the irony because of how Juneteenth came about. Also, there was some delay in the information, and that was horrible. For the people who don't know, Juneteenth, the freedom of African Americans from slavery. Now, that happened in 1863, January 1st, 1863.
Right.
2.5 years later, some dude named Granger comes clip-clopping through Texas and goes, "You guys know you're free, right?" And he's like, "What? Oh my God, real?" And that 2.5 years it took for that information to get to Galveston, Texas. And then everybody was like, oh, okay. Can I just say, I am pretty sure some mail got between, Washington, D.C. and Texas in those 2.5 years.
Probably.
Them bastards. Anyway. So, I mean, there's 250,000 people who were free and didn't know it in Texas. And it took this general just clip-clopping in going, what's going on here? What? This doesn't look right. So that Juneteenth is the holiday that had been made to,
basically the freeing of the very last slaves in the U.S.
Right. And it's the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of ending slavery that we have in the United States. And so it has come up, and now it's a national holiday, and it's new to some people. And, so, okay, we're getting used to it. So we don't know how the whole thing, maybe, how about this? So Keon, is the tipping point that you get to go paid day off? Is that the tipping point? Because I was thinking, what if we just let you have the show for a day? You could.
I would look. It would.
That's
be,
like work, though.
It would be fun, but it would also be more work. That is.
So what you really want is not to work.
Yeah, preferably. That's usually
get paid.
Well, that would be nice.
I was really trying to figure out how to you know how it is.
I just assumed that there wasn't going to be an elegant solution to the whole thing, so I haven't really.
Well, maybe you can help us out, and also help everyone out in understanding how do we celebrate Juneteenth.
I mean, I think the way that how do you celebrate MLK Day? Like you're trying to remember a moment in time and a point in history when things weren't as fair as they should have been. And the sort of reminder of like, let's keep working towards that. We're not done. We've got work to do. So let's keep working towards that. And for me, it's just spending time with friends and family and barbecues and things like that. So it just
from my point of view, that's a horrible embarrassment that happened. It's not even embarrassment, it's evil. That you go 2.5 years in Texas not letting people know you're no longer a slave. You are no longer property. You are now an equal human being. You always have been. It's just we're the a-holes that were doing evil here. And the evil went on for 2.5 more years past the day it had to. How am I what am I supposed to, you know what I'm saying?
But that's where I think a lot of trying to, again, build towards the future. There are evils happening right now that affect the Black community that we need to build towards. And I think that, just being aware of those things helps, honestly, because there are a lot of people who don't know that redlining still exists. And that if you are a person who has a nice home, but you are Black, the value of your house is lower. Wells Fargo got caught a few years ago handing out higher interest rates to in loans to Black customers. Like there's still stuff happening, is my point. And so, like, just remembering that, to me, I think that has incredible value.
We wish the fight was over, but the fight never seems to end around here. So I guess until it is finally done, then that's what you got to do. Because, I'm 2.5 years. Okay. Yeah. How do I apologize? I can't. It's astounding to me that in 2.5 years, no military personnel, no, reporter, no, the post office. Nobody happened to say, by the way, did you know? I mean, they knew. They just kept it from 250,000 people. And that's just, I can't think of a lot more things more evil than that.
Yeah. And I don't know what, I don't know what else to necessarily add to that. I agree. It's incredibly evil, but there are things that are changing. I used to drive past this 3 Juneteenths ago, before I moved out here. I drove past a massive Confederate monument that's no longer there. So
I think Carrie Lake had it moved to the stage behind her for her speech.
Potentially. But to me that was it was a subtle change, but it's like, oh good, I don't have to watch this giant statue of a slave master on my way to work every day. That's nice. That's a nice little that's a nice little change that I'll accept. It's just part of progress. I think Martin Luther King said it better than anybody, that the arc of progress is slow, but it always moves forward. And I think that's where I kind of rest with it. Is you're not going to fix all of the problems that we have today, but I do think that taking days in the year to acknowledge that they even exist is valuable.
For me, it's the face palm of 2.5 years. Oh, God. Well, it
was Texas.
Face palm. Yeah, you just why? Oh,
it's just
Texas
in the 1800s, a different.
Oof, so bad.
Different time.
Well, we should figure out how you can at least meet the Phoenix Mercury if you want to. If you want to. Do you want to go meet him?
It's one of those things that would be cool, but I don't have to. It's not a.
As long as you don't have to come back to work.
I'm not like a fanboy or anything. Like I like the WNBA. I don't have to meet the players. It'd be cool, but if it's going to be if my day would just be easier coming into work, I'd rather just come into work, to be honest.
Well, we should talk more about that later, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to. It's like Randy and I should have come in today and kicked you out, or just had you sit on the couch like we talked about. But we forgot. I get
it's honestly it's fine. I've worked more Juneteenths than not. That's just life, I'm not broken up about
it. If I'd have been there, I would have told people. Somebody. How did nobody tell anybody? How did nobody tell anybody?
Well, because nobody in that area was interested in telling anybody. The people who were benefiting from not telling anybody continued benefiting for 2 more years.
And you want me to stop making those jokes about Texas? Really? Come on.
I never said that.
No,
but-
not you. That wasn't you. I was talking to you. I'm just saying generally.
Just,
so.
you know.
Yeah, anyway, so there you go. So yeah, that is that's the long and short of it. But if we rewind the tape back, it's Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, and then the last of these people figured out, well, we're not slaves anymore. Juneteenth is the holiday that celebrates that. So there you go. Hopefully we can all get better at this. We'll find something though, Keon. We'll just find something to be horrible to each other about. Okay, it's not the color of your skin. It's, oh, look, you've got a beard. You don't have a beard. Oh, it's not the beard thing. It's, you're a Suns fan. You're a Lakers fan.
I mean, it's they've done enough social experiments with that where they've set people up and just picked arbitrary things to discriminate against people. Like, oh, you've got blue eyes. And then people get really into it because that's just what people are like.
Yikes. But I did just have a brief fantasy. I don't know if I'm ashamed to admit it or not, but I did have a brief fantasy of being possibly allowed to enslave Laker fans. I know it's wrong, but I kind of liked the idea for just a moment. Then I realized, no, it's wrong. It's wrong.
Why would you do that? I'm just
because I'd like to have Ralph mow my lawn. That's why.
I see.
So sadly, last night, Willie Mays passed away at the age of 93. Now, Willie Mays, 93, oh boy, he 13 years past he lived a good life limit, and now 93. That you can't be upset about that. And I guess how did he die? I mean, peacefully, I hope.
Peacefully in his sleep.
Yeah, unlike all the other people in the car he was driving. Anyway,
bad joke.
I know. So you all know, it's funny because Willie Mays died, and I immediately was like, "Oh, Willie Mays," and then my wife was like, "Who's Willie Mays?" I'm like, "What? Who's what?" And so, for those of you who don't know, Willie Mays, a baseball player, they used to call him the Say Hey Kid. He started off in the Negro Leagues back in 1948. Then he joined the New York Giants in 1950. He moved with the team to San Francisco, where he played until being traded to the Mets in 72, retired in 73, inducted in the Hall of Fame first try in 1979. So here's some of the highlights on Willie Mays. 660 home runs. That puts him sixth still on the all-time list.
Yes.
He had 3,283 hits, which is good for 11th place. He led the league in stolen bases 4 different times. He was a 2-time National League MVP and a 24-time All-Star. 24 times an All-Star.
Yeah.
He was actually banned from baseball back in 1980 because he took a job as ambassador for a casino. And then they were like, hey, you can't do that. And then he was like, oh, I'm not even playing, but whatever. So then he got reinstated in 1985. And then 30 years later, he got the Presidential Freedom Medal of Freedom from Barack Obama. Did you guys see that 2022 HBO documentary, Say Hey, Willie Mays? Did you guys see that?
I did not have the pleasure of seeing that. No,
I will have to watch it. I didn't know about it.
Oh, it's a good. You should watch it. And he was quoted in that saying, I never had a day when somebody would not come up to me and say, hey, I saw you make a play. I love you because of what you did for me. He says it made me very proud because not only did I play baseball, but the people just enjoyed what I did.
Mm-hmm. It was amazing. It was almost magical to see him interact with fans of all races and creeds, and it didn't matter who you were. Willie always would have a moment to speak with you. He would shake hands of everybody that asked him, and he was a very generous man. He was a very humble man. He was gifted beyond measure. Probably the best ball player I've ever witnessed in my life. I got to have the honor of seeing him play towards the end of his career. So I watched some of those games that he had in the early 70s when he was with the Giants and then the Mets. So it was very cool. I got to see a true great in the game of baseball. I think he was a 12-time Gold Glove winner, something like that. One of the most amazing ball players I've ever seen. I'll be honest with you.
Well, if you want to see Willie Mays, here's what you do. Just search in YouTube, Willie Mays, The Catch. And you will see something that is widely regarded as the best baseball play of all time.
Yes,
Just look
and
up Willie Mays, The Catch.
back in the days, they didn't have Major League Baseball cathedrals like they do now. I mean, they were playing on polo grounds and football fields and things like that, wherever they could string up the four bases in the pitcher's mound, and then your dimensions would be crazy. And that catch was, I believe, it was at the polo grounds, and he was going out towards center field. And if you look at that closely, that is a batter's eye that they would put up when it wasn't being used for playing polo. It's just a bunch of plywood or something that was painted black and was put out there as a batter's eye in center field. And it was way out there. I mean, in today's cathedrals, it would have been a home run, but because it was such a cavernous center field, he was able to sprint back, make the catch. And he said he wasn't worried about making the catch. That wasn't the issue. It was getting the ball back in because he didn't want these guys to score runs on him. So he made the catch. He wheeled around as quick as he could and made a throw back into the infield, or at least hit the cutoff guy. It was an incredible play. And it was just something that was kind of an everyday thing for Willie Mays. It wasn't a day that went by I didn't see him do something incredible. So,
yeah, you got to Google that. If you haven't seen it, you don't know anything about Willie Mays, just Google that, and that'll get you at least a little taste of what Willie Mays was and what he was to baseball. So,
right.
93 years old. We could all hope to get to live that long and have the impact that he had. In fact, last night at Rickwood Field, the crowd paid tribute to Willie Mays during a minor league game they were having there.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the news broke in the middle of the game, and an announcement was made over the PA. So then they played a little something that made a tribute to his life, and the crowd got up and cheered for him for like over a minute, like a standing ovation from the crowd for over a minute. So that
kind of thing
nice.
Just gives me chills. I mean, when you think about some of these baseball greats, Willie Mays and Ernie Banks and people like that, that just gives me chills that I got a chance to see these guys play. Now they're gone. And everybody's like, I wish I would have had a chance to see him.
That's how I feel.
truly, it was.
The funny part is Donnie goes, Jeffrey, was it like witnessing Willie Mays play baseball during his prime? And I'm giggling because, Randy actually did.
Yeah, I did see him.
I was crapping my diapers during that time, but
when I was a young boy, I remember watching baseball, and I remember watching Willie play. So. That is truly, it's sad. The earth has lost a great one, but I know that he's looking down and smiling. What a great guy. So Godspeed, Willie Mays, and thank you for all you did for all of baseball.
All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got more baseball to talk about. By the way, let's take a quick look at how the Diamondbacks are doing. Now they beat the Nationals yesterday. Right now in the top of the ninth, the Nationals are up 3-1 over the Diamondbacks. So it looks like the Nationals probably take this one unless something happens with Moreno up the bat. We'll take a break and we'll come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball, Aaron Judge is the betting favorite to win the American League MVP. Judge is minus 110, while his teammate Juan Soto is at plus 400. Baltimore's Gunnar Henderson is at plus 500. Bobby Witt of the Kansas City Royals plus 650. Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians plus 2,700. Over in the National League, with both Mookie Betts and Ronald Acuna Jr. suffering injuries, Shohei Ohtani is the betting favorite at plus 145 to capture the MVP. Bryce Harper of the Phillies plus 300. Marcell Ozuna of the Braves plus 750. Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers plus 1,200. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
Celebrating 30 years of AmeriCorps looks like building lifetime changemakers in Arizona communities. From serving children alongside First Things First to Executive Director of Prevent Child Abuse Arizona. From the Pinal County Sheriff's Office to the Governor's Office, serving with AmeriCorps today creates limitless potential for every new member to lead Arizona tomorrow. Where will AmeriCorps take you? Join the movement by signing up at serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. All right, so Hefty Lefty says, my dad grew up decently close to Dodger Stadium in the 50s and 60s, and he'd tell me that watching players like Willie Mays play against the Dodgers were some of his best memories. He and his friends would ride their bikes to the game and spend $1 for the day at the game. 50 cents to get in, 50 cents for a hot dog, a drink, and some peanuts. Yeah, that would have been amazing. Would have been amazing. But I'll tell you what, I'll tell you where the good baseball would have been is to go back in the days of the Negro Leagues and go to that Rickwood Field we were telling you about. There you'd see some serious baseball, some of the best baseball you would have ever seen during at least that time. And so I guess they're having they're having a thing on Major League Baseball Network. They're going to do a Rickwood Field Negro Leagues tribute night. I guess there's a game between the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals, and that is tomorrow. And both teams are going to wear the period uniforms and, stuff with the, for the history of the Negro Leagues and the history of those cities and stuff. And it'll be on Fox. Is that gonna be on regular TV, like Fox or Fox Sports?
I hadn't heard about it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would, if it's on Fox, I would imagine it'd be on. It'd be on the Fox affiliate.
It's on Fox.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's awesome. You get to actually see the historical field where a lot of the best players you've never heard of did amazing things and played amazing games. And of course, it was just a couple of weeks ago that the statistics from the Negro Leagues were integrated into Major League Baseball's history. So, seeing this field adds a little something to it. So on the call, Harold Reynolds will be there along with Roy Wood Jr. from The Daily Show. They'll do commentary on there. But actually, Roy Wood Jr. knows his baseball, by the way. He actually does know his baseball. In fact, he did a show for the Major League Baseball network, All MLB Team Show. Last December, he was doing that. So, this would be really fun to watch tomorrow. Problem is, it's on during our show. So 4:15 p.m. Flip on the TV and take a look, and
set your DVRs since everybody probably has one by now.
Yeah, just
set your DVRs. What's the big deal?
I can't.
You don't know how to set your DVR.
I do. It's about live. I want to see stuff live. But I guess
Oh,
just to
I
see
see what you're
the
saying.
uniforms
you're
in the
saying.
field, yeah, I guess that'd be worth tuning in. Yeah, so that'll be educational. It'll be cool, anyways. So, where is Rickwood Field again? Birmingham, is that where it's at?
I believe
Alabama.
So,
Okay. I don't. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it was. It is. So yeah, congratulations, Keon. Your Washington Nationals got the win over the Arizona Diamondbacks 3-1.
Tell you what, Keon, Pat Corbin looked like vintage Pat Corbin
I
today.
know. The Pat Corbin of the last couple of years has been a train wreck. He looked
Yeah.
like 2019 championship Pat Corbin. I
Yeah,
like
he
that.
was shutting down a lot of Diamondbacks hitters. Ketel Marte, I don't know what he ended up with, but I saw him go 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. So
yeah,
and
I
then
think
Corbin Carroll was 0-4, I think, today, and Eugenio Suarez, he was 0-4. Pat
Somebody
Corbin was
jinxed it.
Pat Corbin was dealing today. Dealing.
No, somebody jinxed it because I saw a tweet. Hey, Corbin Carroll is back, and the stats do show that he's back. The last 12 games, his batting average now 340, 16 hits, 3 RBIs, 16 runs, 2 triples, 9 walks. So he's getting back up to speed, doing great. But
14 games in a row being on base, something like that. 15.
Don't.
I mean, those are
post
what the
that.
actual numbers are.
Don't post that. Don't. I mean,
Oh,
post the numbers
oh.
going, hey, Corbin Carroll, but no, okay, he's back, and then nothing.
Well, it wasn't Corbin Carroll's problem today. It was Pat Corbin. Pat Corbin, former Diamondback. Good night.
Some Corbin needs to Corbin up.
He had all of his pitches working, Keon. I mean, it looked vintage. It
Yeah.
looked like when he was pitching that World Series team for Washington. I mean, he looked that good. I mean, there was no answer from the Diamondbacks. And the Diamondbacks as a team, even with bases loaded, are hitting over 400, which is, I think, towards the top of the MLB rankings with bases loaded. And he had bases loaded, man. And the Diamondbacks had no way to seemingly to get him in unless he walked in a run, which is the way the Diamondbacks in that inning. That's the way the Diamondbacks got their one. It was a walk with bases loaded. And that's how they got the one run.
Well,
Other than that, they just looked terrible.
Fat Brandon gets the loss, and tomorrow I think Nelson is on the mound for the Diamondbacks against Gore.
Ryan Nelson to finish out the series in Washington, huh? Okay.
Versus
At 10
Mackenzie
a.m.
Gore.
Yeah,
10
it's a
Yeah,
getaway game. Well, it's 10 a.m. here.
but it's
like
not 10 a.m. there. It's
1 o'clock there.
Yeah.
Why do they do that? Who can get off work at 1 p.m. on Thursday?
Set your DVRs, man. Then
Yeah.
you can speed through the commercials.
Mhm.
Aha!
Hefty Lefty says the jerseys for the Giants Cardinals game at Rickwood that they look great. Silly Wabbit says, why don't you just move the blender there? There's plenty of slots available during the day.
What?
Oh, you mean like we should do the show earlier or later so we can? Why? What? I don't know, because they like us here.
What's he talking about?
I'm not sure what he's referring to.
I guess he doesn't like the other shows on the radio station. He says there's plenty of slots available.
Well,
Well, those slots aren't available. There's shows on during them.
your opinion of those shows is not does not mean
mean-
that there are no shows. Those are shows. They
Move it to 10 o'clock in the morning?
No. He's talking about so tomorrow that game is on at 4 p.m. on Fox. So that's
So
what
move the game. I mean, move the Daily Blender.
the issue that we're having there is well, you have to do the same. You have to show up at the same time every day on a show.
Yeah, we're not allowed to do that.
You can't just make people guess. People are tuning in at 11 to see if we're on. Tuning in at 5.
What time will we come on
Just
tomorrow?
what? Yeah.
Well, Ron's going to be out of town for a few weeks. During that time, we get away with anything.
Well, anything goes.
Right now, probably not. So, you ever throw out a first pitch for a game? You guys? Anybody?
Actually, I had the opportunity several years ago to do Diamondbacks to But I
No
gave
kidding.
I gave it to my donor, my living donor, because I had nominated him for a Person of the Year in People magazine. He made it to the Final Four.
Oh wow!
And they had him throw out the first pitch one night. So
I did it a minor league game.
Okay,
You did? There you go.
Yeah, Chattanooga Lookouts.
I've never done it, but I do know this. I would not do it if I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? If I can't get the ball comfortably across the plate,
Snoop Dogg,
I'm not doing it. 50 Cent, I'm not throwing a ball.
When I tell you that it was a minor league game, no one would have seen it. Nobody knew. I practiced.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Walmart the day before. I bought a baseball and I went into the backyard and I threw that ball as many times as it took for me to be able to get some nice velocity on it, but also not throw it into the ground, getting nice velocity on it. Yeah. Catcher was surprised when I threw it. I don't like embarrassing myself. That is not
But the fact you had to go buy a ball.
Yeah,
you might not have been the right pick.
Maybe, but they're not
But
asking.
you got it done.
Yeah, our radio station at the time was like a finalist for best radio, had best morning show in town or whatever, and I was part of the morning show at that time. So they just picked one of us. I like sports the most, but I didn't have friends I was playing baseball with, so I didn't have a ball. I got plenty of basketballs and I got a football. I do not have a baseball, so I had to go buy one.
So you at least made sure you could do it.
Yeah.
You were not going to embarrass yourself or your family or your radio station by going out there and chucking something at a 90-degree angle and maybe taking out somebody on third base.
I would never hear the end of it.
Right.
In a town that small, you could go to the grocery store and hear people laughing. No.
So, when I see actual athletes, I'm talking like JJ McCarthy and Dallas Turner.
Oh boy.
They go out to a Twins game in Minnesota and they both they didn't practice.
Did they spike it? What'd they do?
You'd have to watch the clips. It was so bad. JJ low and outside.
Just a bit outside.
Very bad. Very bad.
It's not because the guys couldn't figure it out with enough practice. It's that the mound is a little tricky, and they get up there and they think I'm just going to stand up there and rip it.
No,
but there's a dip when you step forward, and if you're not prepared for the dip, I mean, you put the ball in the dirt and you look very dumb.
Look, don't throw it from the mound. Just be a man and go out there and stand in front of the mound and fire one across the plate.
I threw that thing from the mound, man.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I didn't throw heat. I got it there though.
It's okay if you sail it a little bit, like Keon's saying. You don't have to throw a 95-mile-an-hour strike. You just have to get it to the mitt of the catcher where he's not going to get it.
Yeah.
Even if he reaches up and gets it, people watch him be like, that's cool.
The catcher told me when I threw that ball at the Lookouts game that in their last 10 games, they hadn't had a person get it to his mitt. So he was genuinely surprised that I even got it there. Like
there you go.
It wasn't that I did anything amazing. I didn't. I just threw a nice.
Well, that was the other
nice
thing.
lob.
That's the other thing about it is that everybody watching is judging you by their own, oh my God, if I had to do that. Everybody thinks the same things. Like, could I do that if I had to do that? Now, some people are like, yeah, of course I could do that. No problem. Yeah. Those are the guys who are putting in the dirt like 3 feet from the mound.
Mm-hmm. John Wall.
Most people are like, I don't know. So you're getting rooted for. They're rooting for you to do it because they're like, oh, please don't let him embarrass himself, his family, his coworkers. So
if you overthrow it, nobody remembers that. They only remember if you can't get the ball there.
If you spike it.
If you get it there, even if it's not that great a pitch, no one remembers you, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah.
Or if you throw a strike. I mean, if you throw a strike and it's got some velocity on it, people remember that too.
Yeah.
I mean,
nice throw.
Yeah.
Sounds like Keon had the nice throw. So did you get that when you went to the store? Did you nice throw? From the old lady,
nobody really remembered it. That's the thing, is it didn't really stand out past that weekend. People talked about it a little, and then that was it. It was gone.
Forgotten is better than remembered for the wrong thing.
Correct. I like to say boring is good. In those in situations,
Well,
I'll take boring. Yeah,
go back into a pure obscurity.
Dallas Turner and JJ McCarthy, you should be ashamed of yourself. Should be ashamed of yourself. You could have walked in that place probably an hour early. They'd have let you. You know, nobody would be in the place. Go throw a couple of practice ones. Just make sure you can get it there. And then when you're having trouble, go, ooh, you know, I'm going to go home. Just going to go home. There's no shame in that. Nobody remembers that you didn't feel well and couldn't throw out the first pitch. They'll remember when you embarrass yourself.
Yeah. What were you doing the day before that you couldn't just get some throws over? Just because the thing is, if you haven't thrown a baseball in a while, it's different from throwing anything else.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of people get tricked by that too. They realize they don't quite know how to throw the ball.
I don't know why these guys, these football players, don't go out there with a football and just throw the football from the mound.
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
it would be funny.
You know what I mean?
It'd be goofy.
And these basketball players, why they just don't go out there and pass a basketball from the mound?
Because it's baseball. Yeah, they want to see you throw a baseball, not a football or a basketball.
I'll tell you what, if I ever had the chance to do a Diamondbacks game again, and they wanted me to come to throw out the first pitch, I'd want to start in the bullpen and take the bullpen cart all the way out to the mound, and then walk to the mound and just fire one in there.
Oh, I thought you were saying I'm going to take the bullpen cart all the way to the mound and then drive the cart all the way up to the catcher and just hand it to him from my seat. There you go, pal.
The Ted Williams treatment.
Just had to get it to you. That's all I needed to do.
Because if you're not an attractive pop star, it's just not. Like Mariah Carey just threw the ball directly into the ground, and then she's Mariah Carey. Right. She gets a pass.
Right. I don't think they let Justin Timberlake drive the cart anymore. I don't think they're going to let him.
I don't think they should.
Just feel like that.
Seems like he doesn't make good decisions.
He'll come out from the bullpen and end up crashed into the third base coach and just.
And then they find out he took 4 different drugs on his way to the. Yeah, it's not great. It's not a good idea.
Let's take a break. We come back. We'll talk some more baseball and other assorted things. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmonsolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call, 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
You can host the best backyard barbecue. You find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today.
You're expanding your business and need to
this
add to your
when you
fleet.
Angie that.
Maybe you need another semi-truck or trailer. Don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used trucks and trailers. Whether you're an owner-operator or a fleet manager, I'll get the vehicles you need with a simple application and same-day approval. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
If it's local, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic. The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So Shohei Ohtani the other night hit the longest home run of all of 2024. He hit the hell out of a ball 476 feet versus the Colorado Rockies. So 476 feet. That's the high score to beat if you're trying to outdo Shohei Ohtani. Here's the rest of them. Aaron Judge from the stupid Yankees, he got one 473 feet, and that ties him with Mike Trout, who got one that's 473 feet. And then Bobby Witt Jr. for the Kansas City Royals, he has one that's 468. Logan O'Hoppe. How do you say his name? Logan O'Hoppe? You guys ever heard of him?
O'Hop. Let's just go with that.
Can't say that I have, honestly.
I'm going to say it, Logan O'Hoppe, in honor of the Hopi Indians. You're welcome. 467 feet. And then Aaron Judge again with 467. So that's the top six farthest home runs so far this season. So Shohei Ohtani at 476. That's a hard one to beat. That's going to be a hard one to beat.
Yeah, lucky dog.
Now you expect that.
He just generates so much power. I mean, he's just got so much bat speed. But go ahead.
That's all he needs to do. He ain't pitching, so he better start hitting them home runs hard, right? That's his job. That's his only job.
Well, yes, it is. That is his only job this year as a designated hitter, and you want to see the long ball, but sometimes you'd like to see
girls love the long ball.
That's what they used to say back in the day. Anyway, you'd like to see him hit some in the gap and drive a lot of runs in, but I guess if you hit it out of the park and you got bases loaded, I mean, hell's bells, you're doing great. So congratulations to him.
So another home run by the Dodgers, Teoscar Hernandez. But see, he got an extra strike to do it. So I don't know. I mean, if you watch the video, it was an iffy call. The umpires did right there. On a 1-2 pitch, the pitcher threw Hernandez a high fastball. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "Oh, I'm going to swing at this." And he started to swing, but he stopped. Yeah. Check swing. Mm-hmm. The first base umpire, Lance Barksdale, said, "Nah, he's good. He didn't go around." And so then you'll go back and look at the video, and it's like, yeah, he kind of did. He kind of did. And so he got an extra pitch. And then the next one, goner.
Gone. Yeah.
Yep.
So the ruling on that is there's supposed to be an imaginary line at the front of the plate. And if the bat passes that or breaks that line, okay, then it's a strike. If you are strong enough, once you start to swing and you're trying to swing with so much power that you can stop it before that imaginary line there, well then it's a ball. Clearly, last night that was a strike, and this is where I think that they need to make this a rule that you can review it, because that hurt them. That hurt the Rockies right there, and it nearly cost the Rockies head coach to get thrown out of the game because it was a bad call. There were several bad calls at the plate today in the Diamondback games where the ball was
because there's no way the Washington Nationals would beat them otherwise. They stink.
We have the same record, don't we?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there, Keon.
It was at least we have the same record. I don't know that that's the insult.
It was at least two baseballs outside of the, how they have that little zone up there all the time, which is not official, by the way.
We've had this conversation in the reverse, by the way, where I said it was 2 balls away, and you're like, style a strike.
Well, that's a whole different, and I'll explain that in a minute. But we've got to get some consistency at the plate, and we got to get some consistency with these strike calls to see if the batter broke the plane at the front of the plate there. That's what they call it, breaking.
I have a question.
All right, go ahead.
So the robot umpires?
Yes.
And does that include check swings? Is there like a camera that's hooked up to the computer that has that line and can make the call on that?
Well, I suppose that the technology does exist.
Sure, they can add that in.
They could put a camera that would be focused on either side of the plate for the left or right-handed batter. That would be known as the plane cam. And if you want to see it, instead of just hey, check that. That's what I used to do as a catcher. There were a lot of times that I would catch a ball and be very close, and the guy would take a swing at it, and I'd go, hey, check that, Blue. And the Blue would point to first base, and the first base umpire would say either it was a strike or a ball. So,
well, all right. Well, it's the same old thing. Officiating sucks. So just looking for some help, looking for some sort of technology, some But you're right. A challenge that'd go a long way if they could challenge that.
They're not going to do it because obviously they would make the game longer. If you have a check swing strike or a check swing that you're like, hey, check that blue, and the guy at first base, he calls it a ball. Clearly, it broke the plane. I mean, that's something you could review, but it'd have to be something very quick.
I think that the people who watch the game and you're like, oh, we got to get the pace of play going here. Well, yeah, I think people would rather you get it right than fast. So in some circumstances where it's a legitimate reason, and I think double checking a check swing, that doesn't take but a second. It doesn't take that long to double check it. Eye in the sky type stuff like we've talked about for the NFL. Somebody can call down, hey, yeah, that was totally a strike. Something that quick, because it could have been that quick. You watch the video, it's that obvious.
I agree with you on many fronts, not just baseball, but in football. I mean, checking calls on footballs. Instead of going to New York for the call, to have some guy who just finished eating, a half dozen corn dogs, and he's just sitting there all day on Sunday, belching and got a mustard stain on his shirt, and he's trying to make an official call on a replay. Rather have the guy up in the booth at the stadium. You know what I mean? Have him right there with a bunch of monitors looking at it right there.
Well,
Bam.
They can't afford to put a guy in every stadium for every game. That's what they say.
My God.
So they got the guy with the mustard stain and the corn dogs, and they're like, hey, Stan, can you take a look at this?
Wait, why can't they afford that?
Well, they can. They say they can.
Because that's if there are 30 teams,
they can, but they say they can't.
That is 30 guys.
Baseball has the
And they
technology
just
to look at the
there.
video immediately, but yet we've got to stop and send it to New York and have the guy review it. It just doesn't make sense.
I agree. Sheriff Tom says Ohtani's home run was only 420 feet. Subtract 10% on any home run at Coors Field. Yeah, but that's not how they do it, Tom. That's not how they actually do.
Like, it feels like that's how that should work, but it's the same thing for when kickers play in Denver and they kick the longest field goal ever. And you're like, yeah, well, you're in Denver, but you still count the yards.
Doesn't everybody get a shot at Coors Field anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah, over the course of a season.
So if that's where the balls go the farthest because of the altitude or the marijuana, whatever makes it high, then everybody gets a shot at a bat in Coors Field. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We're probably up against something, but
we're not.
I don't know why Colorado and why the Rockies have this insatiable desire to field a normal ball club. Back in the day, when they had some real clubbers on that team, guys that could hit the ball out of sight. Now, see, there's the kind of team. If I'm a general manager in Colorado, that's the guys that because now I've got 82 games a season that I could absolutely dominate. All my guys got to do is just hit the ball out of sight. That's all they have to do.
Go after.
But no, these guys, they just keep getting these, I don't know.
It's like the one team that shouldn't be trying to play small ball baseball. That you should get bombers, just dudes that hit it out of the park, and then focus on pitching.
Row of batters that you have,
half
and
your
these
games
guys
are there.
Just get the ball up and long, and it's gonna fly out of there, man. I don't know why they don't do that.
I don't know. They don't seem very good at baseball either. So, well, I mean, that should answer your question there.
Yeah.
So it's been 49, now 50 minutes exactly that the show has been on the air.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't gotten around to mentioning that the Oilers beat the Panthers last night.
Yes, they did.
Kept it going. And
yes, they did.
Also proved our point about how big NBA has.
How? This is literally the opposite of what is happening. They're no longer working together.
Don't be a child.
Oh, this absolutely destroys your point. I get to lay my point to rest.
Keon, of course they figure out that we figured it out, so they had to give another game to make sure
you're going to have to
look like we
that
had it figured out.
Until otherwise, my point.
Big NBA
I
is
rest
in on this. They called
I
up
rest
the
my
NHL
case so
and
hard
said,
it's in a coma.
Hey, what you need to do is go ahead and give up another game. So we don't get caught doing what we're doing over, and you don't get caught. And then the NHL is like,
that's
okay,
not
and that was
not
the end of it.
These are
The
just
guys
things
in
that you
Phoenix are
feel
onto
happen,
us.
which
You
is
guys, Edmonton's going to win tonight 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
This is
I don't.
this is just what you feel is happening. This is not the
You and
actual
Mr.
reality.
Wilbur, same eyesight. That's all I'm going to say.
It's just not
Just-
reality. What's happening? You've taken the thing that kills your point and then tried to make it make your point, but you're still wrong. I don't
But-
tell you.
But
My
I'm
point.
not. I'm right.
I've laid my point to rest. I will
well,
not be
you
arguing
should,
this
because
further.
your point was dead days ago. My
Oh,
point
boy.
is this conspiracy is just as plain as the nose in your face.
If my point was dead, that's because it's been laid to rest. I was
The
correct from the
conspiracy
beginning.
Is as shiny and clear as the ring in your nose right now. That's
it's
if
just
you
not.
just would just open your eyes, Keon. So I guess the next hockey game is Friday. Friday's,
It is Friday.
It is.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
yeah, okay. Yeah, from here out, I mean, I care even less. I'll be honest.
Well,
Now that my point has been proven, my theories are
Incorrect.
sound. Randy is
Wrong.
right there with me. So it's 2
Oh,
to.
yeah.
And
Just-
if
it
this
just-
is a
why
true
not?
democracy, 2-1, we win.
it's a good thing that facts don't care about votes, do they? Either a thing is wrong or it's not wrong. And
And
I'm
votes don't care
not-
about facts.
not
And guess
wrong.
what? You've been downvoted.
okay. I'm okay with that. I'll just be absolutely vindicated in the point that I was
don't know how you're
making.
going to be vindicated when it's
Vindicated.
obvious.
Just
that,
100%
the conspiracy theory is correct.
Outvoted, but ultimately correct. I'll take that.
How do you get you're ultimately correct
Jeez.
when it was proven last
I know.
night?
But it
You know
wasn't
what it
proven.
is? Is there this much?
You were
fake
saying that it's
news
the same.
on,
It's the same.
without interruption.
And the two
Keon
of
Rose?
the two of them, the two leagues, the NHL and the NBA,
Are in cahoots.
are in cahoots,
Exactly.
mirroring what they're doing. And then
See?
one series
See?
ends, and the other series keeps right on going, and that makes me correct. Like I just don't know how else to explain that.
Being
to
louder
you.
doesn't make you correct.
Fortunately for me,
My
it's-
conspiracy
said
theory.
I could be quiet as a church mouse, and I'd still be correct.
Oh,
I
you
was,
got that? Get that.
Yeah, I
Clip.
need to
Get that clip.
Yeah,
See,
yeah. I need to get that.
so
I think
I'm just-
he's in the
I'm-
pocket
I'm-
of big NBA. So, but
Oh,
if,
yeah.
if we have that clip, that's all we need to win.
Absolutely.
Paid for by Jeffrey O'Brien. Wait till we get the ads out. The attack ads are coming. Sideshow Bob says, "What's up, fellas? Can I get a celebratory shot? I received 2 raises in 2 days."
Wow.
Good heavens.
Well, how did you do that? You must have threatened to quit twice.
Wow.
Keon's like, wait, what's this?
Glad that worked out for you.
Keon
Excuse
is
me?
writing down.
I'm not writing down. I feel like I go into that office and say, "Look, now you give me a raise, or I'm going to quit." And then next thing you know, I'm just outside with all of my
Yeah.
stuff, and I don't know
All
how
your
that
stuff.
happened.
Yep.
No, thank you. I'll.
That's why Keon has brought
My-
so much stuff to the radio station.
My
Just-
strategy is
just to make it
Just-
really difficult.
just to make it absolutely not worth the trouble.
I walked by and I'm like, why do you have a dishwasher in your cube?
Well,
How did you even get that? And it's running. How do you
do that?
I eat a lot of food at work that I cook at home. That's why else do you think I need a dishwasher?
That was impressive. Weso Grande says, not just with baseball, but in all things, up and long. That's my motto.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Well,
if
Me
that's how you
neither.
like it,
I mean,
guess.
that's how you take it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not for us to judge, I guess. Hefty Lefty says, Keon's using clingy girlfriend technique for his argument.
There is no clingy girlfriend technique. You were saying that they were rigged similarly, and
Yes.
then one league.
No, to not get fired. Sorry.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
that's
That's
Yeah.
fair.
No,
That's
you
fair.
are using
Yeah, it's just if I just move all my stuff into your house, then it's just a pain. It's more trouble to kick me out than it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
You might still do it, but
Oh yeah.
do you know how many months that buys me?
Don't ever underestimate how lazy we can be.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, listen, everybody, listen up. Tomorrow, if you're a Phoenix Mercury fan, your favorite Mercury player is going to be at the Fry's Food Store location on Tatum and Shea, starting at 3 p.m. You go on over, say hello, grab a photo with them, and then just hang out, see them in action at the Fry's Food Store, 4707 East Shea Boulevard in Phoenix, and that is at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So the WNBA is bigger and better than ever, and about time you meet your team. So
Yeah, especially Dinah Taurasi, because she's been here for 20 years and might be the GOAT.
she needs to wear a T-shirt always that says "I told you so." And it'd be fair. It'd be like, all right, yeah. All right, that's 1 hour down. We got 2 to go. See, I got a little chunk more of non-NFL stuff to talk about. And after that, I got a bunch of NFL stuff to talk about. So come on back, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know. We have nothing to give away. Do we have anything to give away?
Not that I'm aware of.
A day off with Keon?
Well, I can just give anybody a day off that doesn't work here.
Whether or not your boss recognizes it at your job,
right?
Is entirely different. But Jeffrey can give you the day
I'll
off.
vouch for you for all that's worth. But anyways, it's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right. They're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona. And they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach, be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940, or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem or wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender, and your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. As we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. No, Pinocchio, we're not giving anything away. He says, am I caller 13? Do I get a day off? No, you just use me as your excuse. I'll excuse your absence. I'll sign off on a sheet, whatever you need.
Dr. Jeffrey, your doctor said you needed a day off.
Sure. Happy Lefty says, hey, that Fry's food store where the Mercury players are going to be, He says across the street from that, Ambassador Cigars, home to one of the 74 Davidoff lounges in the country.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Where's this at again?
What's that?
Where's this at again?
Tatum and Shea.
I'm going to be a little late tomorrow.
Why don't you just hit that place on your way home instead?
There's nothing like a fine brandy, and some good friends, and a beautiful cigar, and wasting a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm. It's not wasted.
I mean,
That's never a waste. Yeah.
That's
not
the way
wasted.
it's done right there. Comfortable chair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice music wafting through the air, along with the cigar smoke from all around the world.
Mm-hmm. I'm in. I'd love that.
Take the show to network tomorrow.
Why not? Sideshow Bob says 1 year review for the first raise, because he was celebrating the fact he got 2 raises in the last 2 days. Sideshow
right.
Bob.
All
He says
right.
one was a year review, the other was a millionaire owner trying to settle the bottom line. I don't get that. What does that mean? He says, Keon, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So what is that? What does that mean? A millionaire owner trying to settle the bottom line? I don't understand that.
Where do you work that you get yearly increases? Where do you work again?
We want to try to get Ron to settle a few bottom lines. I mean, that's a great idea. It's a good way to put it. Don't know what it means. So they're given.
There's another way you could go to settle the bottom line too.
Mhm. Yeah, there's also wrong ways of doing that.
Well, wrong in our eyes.
Yeah.
Well,
so remember how old Rory McIlroy? He's like, I'm out of here. Irish goodbye.
Well, he is Irish, so
well, that's proper. But also because things went bad for him on the golf course, he was a little bit crusty about it, and he left. And people pointed out, well, when the roles were reversed, DeChambeau gave him a big hug and hung around.
But it's one thing to lose to a guy and then say, you know what, good game. It's another thing to implode entirely on national TV and then still have the level of grace. Not everybody handles that the same way.
Yeah.
It's one, like if you beat me by 20, hey, look, man, good game. If I collapse completely in the last seconds of a game and I cost myself that win, I don't know if I want to look at anybody, much less you. I maybe it's just a distinction I'm making.
Well, I understand
I
Irish will
understand.
also hold a good grudge too.
I understand because I don't think Rory's blaming DeChambeau. I don't think this has anything to do with Bryson.
No, he's not.
How you lose kind of affects how you feel about the entire thing.
Like I said,
yeah.
It's like a man up, though. You got to man up and you got to do it right.
Well, he did congratulate him.
Okay, then that's
next
all he
day.
needed to do. As long as he can. Oh, the next day. Well, that's only after everybody pointed out how much of a LeBron he was being.
I'm an impossibly sore loser, so I'm just being defensive. But
if we pointed out how LeBron was a bit of a douche for not shaking a few hands, well, then we can point out how Rory is a bit of a douche for not shaking a few hands.
I think in this case, it's one of those things, damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, he could go up, he could shake Bryson DeChambeau's hands, then he's going to stay around and do the media coverage, and he's going to sit there and he's going to answer questions like this. So, Rory, why did you blow those putts on 16 and 18? How is it that you were in the lead and you lost the lead? I mean, they're going to ask him stupid questions about how he lost the lead.
What do you mean? How does it feel? Like dying? What are you talking about?
Did you not just see what happened on the golf course?
I would say, you know what it
TV.
is. To be honest, I was very distracted thinking about having sex with your mom. That's what I would say.
Well, that's you.
know.
That's not Rory.
I was just a little bit preoccupied about doing horribly dirty things to your dad.
Look,
the thing is, they
whoa,
hammer him for that too. Why are you taking it out on the media? Like,
and then if he says anything, but how many times has he stuck around after losing a golf tournament at his own hands, by the way? Committing golf suicide, I like to call it, because he can't hit a 3-foot putt.
Golf-icide.
Enough times.
Perfect. How many times has he done that? He has done that. I can't tell you over the last 20 years of his golf career how many times he's done that. And one time he walks away and everybody's bitching and moaning about what a sore loser is. I say, you know what? You guys are just go kick rocks and leave the guy alone.
I
That's
just
what
think if you're in the mood to break all of your golf clubs, and I can't imagine how that's not the mood that he was feeling. Like, just being around people is the last thing
he's got
you want.
you got a wife and a daughter he's trying to care for, and they're breaking up. They're on again. They're off again. You think that didn't kind of jump into his psyche too?
He's like, yeah, you know what? Screw this. I'm going home, and she's out for good.
Like, well, not that so much as like if I talk to one person, all of that frustration, my personal life and the golf, it's coming out to the next person I say anything to. Like, the wise thing is to just go home. I don't know.
You know
it's
what?
just
I don't blame him one bit.
Me personally,
you know who I don't blame?
I don't care if people shake the hands of the person they were competing against or not. That's not like, if you're going to be consistent, be consistent. Don't shake this guy's hand and then don't shake that guy's hand. But like, sometimes stuff is frustrating and you just got to get away.
Also, sometimes you just man up and do the polite thing. But
he's done that over his 20-year career. This is the first time he's done anything like this.
Yeah, I'm not even really too uptight about it. The person that I want to support the most right now is Scotty Scheffler for refusing to autograph a Celtic hat. He grew up in Dallas, so they came up to him.
No.
Hey, will you sign my hat? He's like,
nope.
Why don't you shove that where the sun don't shine? I ain't signing that thing.
Not a chance.
He's like, nope, ain't gonna happen. That I 100% understand.
It reminds me of that one time that Ken Griffey Jr. Was signing autographs, and then this kid comes up with the Yankee hat. And he goes, "I'm not signing that."
Don't blame
him. And the kid's like, "Hey, what? Why don't you come play for the Yankees?" And he goes, No, not playing for the Yankees. And if I were a free agent and the Yankees were the only team that wanted to sign me, I'd retire.
Yeah.
Told that to that child, and that just reminds me of that. Listen, you're allowed to be loyal or not loyal to teams, and you can treat fans well and not necessarily sign all their stuff.
Oh, I would sign a Yankee hat, but I would sign it like go F yourself and not put my name on it. But I'd like, here you go. Hey,
you wanted a signature. You didn't say what the signature looked like.
Come here, I'll take a picture with me. You can show people that I wrote that on there, but I'm not signing it. So, speaking of how LeBron James also did the Irish goodbye in a few occasions, a little bit of a pout. So this whole thing about Bronny James and LeBron James playing together came up again, and his agent has said, well, we figured for a while that the rumors had been, and he's like, hey, listen, he's like, they're not a package deal. They're not a package deal. And he says, there had been conversation about, well, he says, I don't care about him going to the Lakers or Phoenix or about the numbers he gets picked. It's about where it fits. He says, if Bronny's name was Charles Jacobson and he was my client, I do the same thing. Basically, he's saying this whole thing about Bron hanging in there to play with his son and whatever team he goes to, then LeBron or go to, that ain't happening. It ain't happening in Phoenix. It ain't happening in LA. It ain't happening.
They'll be on the same court together at some point. There are two teams where if Bronny winds up on a team, those two teams are going to be playing in the same, in the same building at some point. Like, that'll be a big deal unto itself. It doesn't have to be LeBron on the same team as Bronny. And a lot of Suns fans have been saying, well, why not LeBron? And you get Bronny as a package deal. LeBron is not taking the minimum deal to play here. It's just not going to happen.
Here's the direct quote. He says, LeBron is off of this idea of having to play with Bronny. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. There's no deal made that it's guaranteed. If the Lakers draft Bronny at 55, then LeBron's going to re-sign. If that was the case, I'd force him to take him at 17. We don't need leverage. Lakers can draft Bronny and LeBron doesn't re-sign. LeBron is also not going to Phoenix for a minimum deal. We can squash that right now. So everybody who's been saying that on the text line.
Just absurd. Nope. Like, why do you think that a guy who could make millions would just make hundreds of thousands instead? To play with his kid? How does that make any sense? Like, I just think about it.
He also said there are other teams that love Bronny. For example, Minnesota, Dallas, Toronto. That's interesting. Do you think that's just agent talk, or do you think those guys are actually like?
No, I've been reading the stuff that a lot of scouts have been writing about Bronny. They like what he offers as a defensive player. They don't think that he has a shot that doesn't work. He didn't make enough shots in college, but when they're talking about the shot, they're just talking about the mechanics of it. There are guys, they show up in the league and that thing's broken, and you can try to do whatever you want, but they've already taken enough shots with a bad shooting form. There's not a whole lot you could do to fix it. Bronny doesn't have that. His mechanics are good, just need some tweaking. So at that point, you have an NBA player, a guy who could probably start, in a few years if you let him.
Lost Toby says, now I have to make a 2.5 putt, because it's in Rory range. He says nobody choked more than Rory. Hefty Lefty says, I don't know about setting a bottom line, but I've done a line off the bottom. Okay.
Well, that's not what we're talking about now, is it?
Our texter from the other day says, we're not going to call you Grimace the butt plug. So we're going to have to change that. It ain't going to happen.
You can settle for simply Grimace, but that's
all
as
I
close
said was Grimace looks like a big old purple butt plug, but I didn't say that you could use that as a texter nickname. So we'll call you Grimace. We might call you the plug, but we're not going to put it together that way. So reworkshop that. But he says, I tend to agree that Rory is a big choker. Just ask his wife. Who said he choked his wife?
I don't think anybody said he choked his wife.
Ever suggested that.
I have not heard anything like that.
Trying to start rumors.
Anything like that.
Well, don't start those rumors here.
Yeah.
We don't start those kinds of rumors. We start other hurtful rumors.
So Sideshow Bob's trying to explain what that means. That the millionaire owner was trying to settle his bottom line. Says, means I work for a big corporation and they were losing good employees. They readjusted the pay to make it worth it. I would say who I work for, but I don't want to mess up a good $7 raise. But it's a big place.
What?
That's pretty
good
good
for
Sideshow
you.
Bob.
Good for you. I'm happy for you, man.
Well done. Beer Bob says, that's easy for them to say now. Let's see what happens in the draft next week. Yes, the draft is next week, not July. Who said it was July? Did you
I
say
thought it was July. But
when is the draft?
But
is it June 22nd?
But what do you mean? Let's see when they draft. Why do you? There are people who keep telling me that nobody likes Bronny and no one will draft him. And then when I explain,
not in the first round.
I agree. I never said he was a first rounder, but he is getting drafted. That is going to happen.
The draft is Wednesday the 26th and Thursday the 27th.
The draft is Wednesday.
I guess they finally split those two rounds apart.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, doing them both on one night was also kind of stupid because it would just run until midnight, essentially. And you're just like, what? Why? There's a bunch of players nobody cares about, and only the nerdiest of people are watching this right now. Who is this for?
Yeah. So I don't care where Bronny goes, and I don't care where LeBron goes. What I do know is he will not be on the Phoenix Suns. I don't think Bronny will be on the Phoenix Suns.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the Suns have a second rounder.
And that's not what we need. We don't need that kind of a player.
Well,
we need a different kind of player.
It wouldn't hurt in the second round because you're not drafting the players you need in the second round.
Right. Okay.
Like at that point in the draft, it's like you're getting just a player you hope could start one day, maybe. And sometimes those guys turn into Draymond Green and Nikola Jokic, which is amazing.
But Steph Curry.
Well, Steph wasn't a second rounder though. Steph was like a number 11 pick, but. Like, but if Bronny's there, like, there's no way you don't take him if you're just in hope the guy starts one day range.
So is Grimace fella or the plug?
Yep.
What do you mean that Rory's a big choker? Just ask his wife. He explained in a way that I don't think I can read that. But I wasn't aware there was rumors he choked on that sort of thing.
I don't think that's substantiated. I just think he wanted to say something mean about Rory.
Oh, so there's no rumors about.
I've never heard such a thing.
Yeah, okay.
So
you need to worry about your text nickname more than starting rumors, buddy. Moist One says Jokic was drafted during a Quasari Ito Quesarito commercial.
Yeah. Like literally his name popped up on the screen as an afterthought. Because in the second round, they just start running the draft. And so they'll go to commercial break and just have the names on the bottom of the screen crawling. Jokic got drafted off screen. Do you
think there's any sort of changes they can make to the NBA draft to make it more like the NFL draft, where it's more like a wow, or is there just not the same amount of usable talent that's going to come through?
It's just, I just think with the NBA, there are so many players that are showing up from Europe, and you're just like, who is this guy? Like nobody in America has watched that dude. You're just hearing from a bunch of scouts. Yeah, Zachary Resaucher, he's really good. What? Who is this person? And then you have to go find YouTube highlights to figure out if the guy can even play. Like that, it's hard to build buzz with that. And that, if you look at the top of this draft, it's like 4 international guys are going in the top 5, potentially.
So we'll see what happens in the draft. It's not going to save us. It's not going to hurt us. It could be interesting. Maybe we get something good.
Yeah, it's not going to save you, but you might get something that could be useful at least, that won't cost you a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And the Suns do need some version of like a future. And so if you get a player that can be useful this year, but in years after that, then that'd be nice.
What if they had a new thing? Here's a new thing, right? So the Phoenix Suns, we're in more money trouble than you can even imagine.
Yeah,
so what if you said, hey, we're not going to draft anybody in exchange for a 20% off coupon, which means we get forgiven for 20% of our draft. And then that opens the windows like, oh, look, now we can do some other things.
I just don't know that the NBA works that way.
There's an idea to get a coupon. Everybody loves a coupon.
Yeah, it's just not how the rules have ever worked. So I don't think
that's why
don't think anyone's going to allow it.
I think it's a brilliant idea.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying they're not going to allow it. Just you'd have to ask for that in the CBA. And
wait, we don't have a second round pick.
Yeah, I said that.
I know. I heard you. I just didn't believe it. Now look, it's true.
Getting Kevin Durant here and getting Bradley Beal here cost all those picks.
Gosh, now we're not getting our 20% off coupon. Great. Yeah. So
that's the price of getting already established guys, is that you give up the guys that aren't established, which are your picks.
So Grimace or the Plug is saying that I should call him something else. He says, call me Grimace, the Big Purple Plug.
That really is not much of an improvement, to be honest with you.
I feel like it's just Grimace or the Plug.
Though the Plug does suggest that you sell drugs.
But the Big Purple Plug, that's actually probably acceptable. It's just a lot. It's a lot to say.
Yeah, we've got so many really sharp one-word nicknames that are just roll off the tongue. And then you've got the Big Purple Plug. It's just
Yeah, I think it's either the Big Purple Plug says or Grimace says.
Got to pick a struggle there.
Yeah. Silly Wabbit, that's where it started. He's trying to give suggestions. That's where it started. We're trying to get away from that. Listen, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about one unemployed coach and one coach opening. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Do you need equipment for your business but don't have the cash? I can help. I'm Dylan Cohen at JR Capital, and we offer no money down financing on new and used equipment. Excavators, forklifts, dozers, tractors, cranes, plows, and more. If it's essential to your business, I will help you get the money you need. It's faster and easier than asking your banker. Call me, Dylan Cohen, at 602-834-7353. That's 602-834-7353. Or visit moneyradio.com and click on Finance with Dylan.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem or wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harmon Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harmon Solar Podcast at harmonsolar.com.
With the first pick. Now that the draft is in the books, it's that time of the season when the team gets together, to get acquainted. Summer means mini camp, OTAs, then pre-season. Keep yourself tuned to the station with all the insight, updates, and breaking news you need to know about the NFL offseason. If it's the NFL, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Man, I'd love to be fired and know that my next check would be $65 million. What? Yeah, the Pistons fired Monty Williams. They finally fired him.
Well, it's only been a year, but
and now they owe him $65 million.
Yeah, man. Which is crazy because they had to convince him to not retire, essentially.
Right.
And
he was going to sit out a year, to help take care of his wife in that situation.
And kind of just take a break from basketball a little bit. And
they forced him back with all that money, and now they're like, we'd rather still pay you $65 million not to do this.
Well, he was in trouble because the general manager got fired. And
right.
Every time that happens, the new guy didn't hire you. And if he thinks that you're part of the problem, you are gone.
That's fine, but when you're sitting there and you walk into your new job and you're like, so what we're going to do, we're going to pay him $65 million to not come into work. Like, well, why don't we just give him another chance, one more year, and see how that goes? And if during that year even things are looking worse, then because we don't want to lose our chance with this other coach. Oh, really? Which other coach is that? Who the hell are they going to hire?
I don't know, but that just depends on how the GM felt about Monty. If the new GM came in and said, look, I hate everything about the way the guy runs
doesn't matter
things.
if you hate him. Who's the replacement, man?
Frank Vogel.
Oh, God. I will laugh my ass off if it's Frank
Just
Vogel.
everywhere that Monty leaves, Frank Vogel follows behind.
He's sure to follow.
Yeah, like it's just I understand what you're saying, but genuinely, if you think that his offense stinks and his defense stinks, like if you just don't like anything about what the guy does, having your players play another year in that, why would you do that? Now the next guy you hire, you can't miss.
Yeah, that's going to be a short
you
reign for Trajan Langdon if this goes wrong.
Because you just convinced the owner to fire a guy he just hired. And so if you miss on the next guy, you do have a problem.
So basically, there's 82 games in a season, right? 82?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just say that Monty Williams gives them 4 games for free. So he got paid $1 million a game for one season. Oh my God. Monty Williams is the smartest man on earth.
Well, it's like
or his agent is.
Everyone involved
Look,
on their side.
it's
Smartest people on earth.
I don't know how smart you have to be. It's like Clay Davis said in The Wire. I'll take anybody's money if they're just giving it away. They came to him with the money. Like, I don't care how you'd be smart to just say no. They came to him with the biggest contract in the league. All he did was say yes.
I didn't ask for this.
Yeah, like your team stinks, and I know that I'm going to look bad coaching it. We won 14 games out of 82.
So
there was nothing really I could do to your team in a year.
He's going to be the wealthiest assistant coach on somebody's team.
He just didn't overthink it. They said, would you like $10 million a year for 5 years? And he said yes.
How many wins, you say?
14.
All right, so 78 million divided by 14. They paid $5.5 million per win.
and the thing is, he was trying. Their team is bad.
I have no doubt he was trying. I do have doubts his mind was actually fully in it, considering everything that's going on with his life.
With the battle with cancer and all this other stuff. Yeah.
They also handed him a bad team, third youngest team in the NBA. So, yeah.
And the best player on the team got hurt 25 games into the season.
So I feel like they probably should have let him ride one more year. Even with the new guy coming in, I'd be like, hey, listen.
That's what most teams do, because once you fire the coach and GM, you're essentially admitting the rebuild starts now, which there's not much to rebuild, but you're essentially saying the build starts now. Why would you start the clock ticking on that, sooner than you have to? It could start after Monty if you give him one more year to do this. But, the new GM, I guess he feels pretty confident that there's a coach out there that he can get that he'd like. Otherwise, I can't. I don't know. To be clear, I don't know.
Frank Vogel.
If it's Frank Vogel, I may not come into work because I'll be dead from laughing so hard. Darvin's in Milwaukee. He got an assistant coaching job. So
I like Darvin.
I like Darvin, but there were some things with Darvin in year 2 that showed up that I don't know that anybody's going to hire that guy immediately right now.
But he does have that on his resume.
But I do think that there's no way you fire Monty if you didn't have a coach in mind. So I assume
in mind or in the bag,
one of the two. And I'm making the assumption that they know who that is in that building. Either that or it's just more Pistons front office shenanigans, which is also possible.
So you got JJ Redick probably going to the Lakers. Have they made that official yet?
Not official, no.
What's the holdup?
They interviewed him over the weekend. I don't think JJ's the guy they really, really want.
No. The guy they really, really want went back to UConn.
Went back to UConn.
Because they're still working on that?
Because James Borrego and JJ Redick, at any point, if they really wanted those guys, they'd be Lakers coaches already. Which means those aren't the guys they really wanted. And now they're in a bad spot because the guys they truly wanted aren't there. And the guy they wanted the most, I think they just assumed they were going to fly Hurley out to LA, offer him a bunch of money, and Hurley was going to look at the money, look at the fact that he lives in Connecticut and he could be living in, on a beach somewhere, and just take the money. And when Hurley said no, I don't know that there was a backup plan.
There's no plan B.
Yeah, which is bad management. But again, Rob Pelinka used to be an agent. He had no front office experience prior to that. And here he is running a front office of the Los Angeles Lakers and doing a very bad job of it, if you ask me.
Go Lakers. T. Licious says, when you fire a coach after one season, you admit you hired the wrong guy.
Which, to be fair, when you hire a new GM, the GM is essentially saying, you did hire the wrong guy. Don't worry, I'll hire the right guy. Thing is, he better be correct about the dude he hires next.
The Tom is right. He says Monty Williams can now invest in a WNBA team. I bet he could.
He probably could. Yeah, I mean, the Atlanta Dream.
Yeah, he could.
He said yesterday, 55 mil.
Right. You have 10 million left over. That's not the worst idea, Tom. You could make some money off that. So Monty Williams, and I now watch. The next thing that's going to happen is they're going to try to not pay him the $65 million.
I don't think so, because I just don't know how you get out of that. You didn't fire him with cause. You just fired him. He actually said he wanted to stay before they fired him. So I don't know how you're gonna not pay him the 65 mil.
The quote was, "I want to stay here and keep collecting these checks."
Well, the thing is, he was going to collect the checks either way. If they fired him, he wasn't going to quit. But if they fired him, he's still getting the money. I think he wanted to try and finish what he started. Like, yeah, you paid me. You did reach out. You offered me all of this health insurance stuff to take care of my wife. I didn't have to spend a dime on her treatment for the last year. Like that, I'm sure that there's a loyalty there, but new GM said, you're not the guy. So you're not the guy.
So this guy just came back and says, I'm open to suggestions. How about vaginally challenged? Okay, here's the deal. No, you're the purple plug now. That's it. You're just it. That's it. I've decided. You're the purple plug.
Wow.
That's all I'm going to call you now.
We can't say that every time because
the purple plug?
No, not the purple plug. What the name he actually tried to
vaginally challenge?
Look, it's funny that we can say it every once in a while, but every time you text in and we have to read that, that's not going to be great for,
Yeah, we'll all know what the purple plug is.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get us.
It doesn't explicitly say the thing.
Right. We don't get in trouble. So it's official. You're the purple plug. The big PP, says Moist One.
The big PP.
Not going to call you that. Not going to call him that. Cliff Dingleberry says, I just saw a report that said that JJ Redick had been linked to the Pistons, actually.
What? JJ Redick to the Pistons.
I mean, it makes more sense than the Lakers.
Young coach, young team.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and he's still very well respected. I think everybody knows that he's a very smart guy, intelligent. That makes more sense than the Lakers one, especially since the Lakers think that they can win right now. The Pistons have no illusions about that. They know they're bad.
But they have a bad team. I mean, you could put the inventor of basketball in there. It doesn't make any difference. The team is terrible.
Yeah, but you're not hiring
about that.
Yeah, but you hire the coach you want to coach that team for the next 5-6 years. You'd like him to be there now, though, so that he can have that connection with the players, so that he can have have some input into the roster as he'd like it, so that he can have his system in place and guys know what to expect. Like, yeah, you hire the guy that you want for the next. You have a bad team, so you do hire a good coach, so that coach can start molding your young team the way you'd like them to.
Big Jake says Monty doesn't get the flowers he deserves for the turnaround he implemented here. Monty got sick of all of Book's poor attitude and lack of leadership from his selfish best player. He was responsible for taking us from worst to the NBA Finals in 2 short years.
I don't know about partially responsible.
Yeah, I don't know about the dynamics between whether it was DeAndre Ayton or it was Booker or whoever. But yeah, no, you're right. He does deserve some flowers for his time here. You might be overstating some of it. Maybe others are understating some of it. But no, I liked Monty, but it did sort of become apparent that once you were in certain situations, it was like a stuck rudder on the boat. You know what I mean?
You're just in a circle. You're like, well, we could turn the other direction. We could see if that works. No, we're not doing that. All right. Well,
got to make some adjustments.
We'll head back around again. I guess.
Guess maybe next year. So the Pacers, Pascal Siakam, he got quarterback money, $189.5 million for 4 years.
Yeah, and it's his first shot at a max deal and all that. So it's not the big max, but he has been an all-star just about every year for the last 4. And he's been an awesome basketball player. He was great in Toronto. And he obviously was an impact player for the Pacers because that's how they got to this Eastern Conference Finals. And they could have probably been more competitive in that finals if Tyrese Halliburton doesn't get injured at a certain point in that series. But Siakam was a huge part of the reason why he was able to put them over the top. And it was a gamble to trade for him in the middle of the season because you didn't know if he was going to stick around after the season was over. But they were able to convince him to stay.
So yeah, $189.5 million.
He's a good basketball player, so
not bad. Not bad. Halliburton got the biggest deal, $245 million extension.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that comes from the fact that he's gotten first or second team defensive team and all of that stuff as well for him. He's been a really really quality player for them, and he's the engine of the team. So it makes sense that he makes more money.
Can I be happy about something non-related to the NBA for just one moment?
Yes, you can. Go right ahead.
Justice Terry has become the second 5-star commit to decommit from USC in 24 hours.
Basketball or football?
Does it matter? Football. He's a lineman.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Just another decommitment.
Wow.
Oh,
Wonder what's going on there.
That's what I wanted to go laugh at. Defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Where USC needs the most help.
Mm-hmm.
They got Lincoln Riley. They're going to score points. They're always going to score points. They couldn't stop me and 10 of my closest friends a year ago. That was the problem with that team.
It just your prospects just got worse to defend against Keon and his friends, USC, because Justice Terry says, no, thank you. Isaiah Gibbons says, no, thank you. And that's the end of that. And then I guess there's 3 prospects that aren't going like they thought. Julian Lewis, well, he's still going to USC for now.
They could expand the college football playoff to 20 teams. Trojans wouldn't make it.
Oh, boy.
Not playing defense like that. I'm telling you, they have to play better defense. And they're in the Big Ten now.
That made me happy.
You're gonna get murdered 3 weeks in a row.
Made me happy just to see that. Just for all of Ralph's blathering.
Yeah, it's just a
I don't
bad
hate
football team.
I don't hate USC.
Blathering.
Yeah.
I don't hate them either, but it is funny to me when they struggle. It does make me laugh.
So this is that was fun news. This is not fun news. Cameron Brink, it turns out, torn ACL. She's done for the season.
That's too bad. Who is this?
She plays for the LA Sparks.
Who is this? She's the blonde gal everybody was talking about the other day.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that out of all the rookies, she's the only person not named Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese that anybody knows.
Did I need to know that who she was?
She's a really great player. She's not just easy on the eyes. She was a good player. She's a good rookie.
Yeah, she was in the Rookie of the Year conversation.
Well, that's too bad, isn't it?
So she'll be out for the year.
That's not so good news.
No, I'm just saying. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's see. I got one story about golf, and the rest of this is going to be NFL. It's the Daily Blender here. What? Huh?
One story about golf. Okay.
Yeah, I got one story about golf.
We've talked a lot of golf today.
I know. There's just one last story about golf.
Okay. All right.
Listen, maybe I didn't put all the stories in order like I usually do. Did you ever think of that? Maybe I was busy.
I was just surprised you had another story about golf.
I got another story about golf.
It's a Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Free is key during Craftsman Days at Lowe's. Right now, get one free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of a V20 drill or impact driver kit for $69. Don't miss your chance to save on the high-quality, high-performance tools you need during Craftsman Days. Because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 6/19. While supplies last. Selection varies by location.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now get the 2023 Nissan Rogue with best-in-class fuel economy among gas engines. Availability is limited. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. Auto Pacific segmentation, excluding hybrids and electric vehicles. 2023 EPA fuel economy estimates from 28 city, 34 highway to 30 city, 37 highway for 2023 Nissan Rogue. As shown, Nissan Rogue Platinum all-wheel drive, 28 city, 34 highway. Actual mileage may vary.
Celebrating 30 years of AmeriCorps in Arizona looks like more than 27,000 members, 29 million hours served, nearly 75 million in scholarships, millions of lives changed. When you sign up for AmeriCorps in Arizona, you make a difference. Also, earn a living stipend. plus education scholarships. Join the movement by signing up at serve.az.gov. That's serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Today's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I'm going to do another golf story. Then Randy's not even here. He's going to miss it.
That's a shame.
I guess it could stall.
Must be blue again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Randy's got a new puppy, and he is like knee deep in diarrhea right now. I think.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So, hey, at least I can fill you in on this. Phoenix Mercury fans, your favorite Mercury players will be at the Fry's Food Store location on Tatum and Shea tomorrow, starting at 3 p.m. Go on down and say hello, grab a photo, and hang out with the Mercury at Fry's Food Store, 4707 East Shea Boulevard in Phoenix at 3 p.m. So that'd be nice. So here's Randy. All right, Randy. Here's my golf story. Here's the other golf thing. The other golf thing is, and I don't know. I mean, I think this makes sense. I think this is a good idea.
My clubs with me.
It's always good to have at least one club, but you don't need it for this. Okay. Tiger Woods has been given a special PGA Tour exemption for exceptional lifetime achievement, meaning anytime they have a PGA event, like a golf tournament, he's in.
A premier event.
He's in. Bing, bang, boom. He's in. PGA Tour signature event. He's in.
Yeah.
Automatically gets to just go in there and start golfing.
Signature event is you generally have to qualify for it, and they're giving him free reign to go in there. That number one. And number two, I believe the signature events are no cut events. So even if he shoots, horribly, he will still make the cut and will be there for 4 days. And I think this is a big thing for the PGA, ESPN, and NBC to make sure they get lots of eyeballs on golf because they have a ton of money invested in golf. So that's why I think this is happening.
Free pass for Tiger Woods.
Hey, look,
who else has this? Who else has this?
Nobody. This is revolutionary. I mean,
why did they give a free pass to old Beardy McBeer drinker?
No. He's on the he barely plays anymore. He's usually on the senior tour. He goes out. I think he goes out to John Daly.
John Cena.
John
Daly.
Not John Cena. John Cena is he's that guy.
It'd be really hard to get attention on the game with John Cena because you can't see him.
You can't see him.
You can't see him. So, but
I wish I hadn't seen him in Ricky Stenicki. Well, that would have been great.
Boy. Anyway,
I wish I'd missed that.
This is unheard of, but it is for look, arguably one of the greatest golfers ever. People will argue and say that no, Jack Nicklaus is. He won. He won more majors. Blah blah blah. Look, I think there's no argument here. I think Tiger Woods revolutionized golf. You're seeing the modern game today. You're seeing the equipment today because of Tiger Woods' involvement in golf. And so they've given him this kind of this lifetime achievement award, and he could play in these signature events, these no-cut events.
And also to Randy's point, they Tiger-proofed golf courses. Like that was a whole. They tried to make golf courses that Tiger couldn't dominate. When they start doing that to you, just because you're beating everybody so badly that it just looks bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's a
when you move the needle on a sport like Tiger Woods did for golf. I mean, what can I say? Before that, the clubs, when Tiger came in, there were still wood drivers out there on the course. There were still guys using wood drivers, and still 30% of the players that are out there have metal spikes. But guess what? They're all revolutionized metal spikes. They're no more like these converted tuxedo shoes out there on the course that have metal spikes on them. They're like space age materials, and they have plastic spikes. They've got carbon fiber stuff. I mean, it's amazing how the golf game has changed relatively. You can date that back to when Tiger came on the scene and dominated the way he did.
So, of course, you're thinking, we'll never see another Tiger Woods.
I doubt that. Well, it's like Michael Jordan. Did anybody say we'll never see another Michael Jordan? Maybe. But then what happened when LeBron came on the scene? I mean,
what do you mean, Kobe?
Well, Kobe
but
and
but even
LeBron.
Kobe wasn't Jordan. I don't know. Like it's weird that people put Kobe
I just
in
love
that
to see
same
Keon's
place.
blood pressure go up when this argument starts.
It's not a blood pressure thing. It's just Kobe's great, but
here we go again.
But Jordan is just in his own stratosphere.
Yeah.
You don't get a Kobe without a Jordan. LeBron is just his own thing. You get that either way.
Let me ask you a question. What's the scariest neighborhood you've ever been in your life?
Me or Keon?
Both of you guys. Scariest neighborhood you've ever been in your life?
I've ever been in.
Well, I lived in a couple of places. There was one place in DC that wasn't great.
I mean, where you lived. I lived in a place where I had no business living once. Indian School in 27th Avenue.
I do
right
know
there
where I
by
lived.
the I-17.
I was a kid, but we did
That was
live in
pretty
a
rough.
pretty rough part of DC. And then there was a part of Chattanooga that was I was not aware of the kind of place I moved to, but it was very cheap. And
I can't.
that's how I wound up there. I could afford
I can't think of a bad neighborhood I've ever lived in. I just can't. 19th Avenue in Bell, I was in an apartment, but that was still relatively good.
Well, okay, so maybe not lived in, but been in. I know that Anaheim, I've been there in some places where I was like, oh, this is pretty rough. And I'm not talking Disneyland. I'm talking the real Anaheim.
Yeah.
There, so some pretty scary places. And, I'm thinking about the time I lived there in those apartments. And I realized by looking around, I've never looked more like a police officer or a narc in my entire life. No one's ever going to mess with me. I just walked around. Hey, how you doing? Everybody's like, are you crazy? Why are you here? So, but I have found the scariest neighborhood.
Okay. This is the scariest neighborhood.
I'm never going to it.
All right.
Iowa City, Iowa.
What?
Iowa City, Iowa. The flat out scariest neighborhood. Here's why.
Okay.
Someone in Iowa City driving through 7:45 p.m. Okay. Not like at 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. It's a Friday, driving along, 7:45 p.m. Looks over. This reminds me of Dave Chappelle's bit about baby. There's a 3-year-old boy walking down the street with a loaded handgun. Iowa City, Iowa is the most gangster place on the planet right now.
I don't think so. Come on.
They pulled over, and can you imagine trying to be the guy who pulls over and takes a gun away from a 3-year-old? You got to come up from behind. You don't come up.
You don't say, "Hey, how you doing, kid?"
Hi. So they got the gun away from this kid by coming on and then his mom shows up, 31-year-old gal. And of course, she's like, the police show up. And she's like, I was cleaning my gun. And I don't know. I started cleaning other things and I didn't realize he took it and he walked off. I left the gun there on the nightstand and I guess he just grabbed it. There's a couple questions. First off, why are you leaving a gun laying around with a 3-year-old? Second, your 3-year-old just walked off and was able to walk a good distance down a street with a loaded handgun.
And you didn't know.
Before you realize, ooh, I better go looking for him.
That's not good. That's very we need to call CPS because
they were called.
Yes.
And thankfully nobody was hurt, but she's facing charges for child endangerment and making firearms available to a minor. But that just makes Iowa City the last place you ever want to be.
It's weird though, because it's scary, but it's not gangster in the sense that that's just negligence. That is just a negligent person who probably shouldn't have a child.
No, I mean the baby is gangster.
I mean, for just picking up the gun.
The baby is good. That baby needs a tattoo immediately.
Well, no, I just looked up this,
presumably a face tattoo, but
living conditions in Iowa City, Iowa.
It goes without saying. It's face tattoo.
Iowa City has cultivated an inviting and creative atmosphere from its prestigious university to its rich literary legacy. There are plenty
That's
of
the toddler shooting range right there.
outdoor
off the highway.
activities, countless ways to flex your creative muscle, and a low cost of living.
I just don't think that baby was like, I can't, I'm going to wait for her to turn her back and then I'm out of here. I think the kid just did what kids do. I was just lying around.
Baby's sitting there. He's like, I'm tired of that crap from that one kid in daycare.
He's got
to get my opportunity. I'm
like
gonna do a stumble by.
Stumble
that guy's house.
Like toddle by.
Doing a toddle by.
Yep. This is some premeditated stuff. That makes me scared.
Well,
I'm just going to avoid Iowa City, Iowa.
And that's the
all
PSA.
All of the negligent parents, apparently, that
don't go there.
that live there.
Got a lot of angry gun-toting babies there.
I don't want to be shot by anybody. But if I get shot by a 3-year-old, that's not a way you want to die. That's
Look,
not.
Man, I've got a Glock in my Pampers. I will use it. Yo.
Mm-hmm.
The mean streets of Iowa City.
Everybody's getting a cookie.
Everyone.
All right. So that PSA was just don't go to Iowa.
Okay.
This one is don't drink and swim. Because it's hotter out there and there's pools and stuff, and you hear a lot of don't drink and drive, but hey, don't drink and swim. According to the CDC, 31% of all drowning deaths involve blood alcohol level of 0.10 or higher. And, that's just like basic drunk, that's like low level buzz, I guess.
Okay.
Drinking impairs your judgment, makes you more likely to take risks, and it's dangerous at the beach, or it's dangerous in your pool if you're jumping off the roof, stupid crap like that. And boats too. 27% of deaths involving boats and jet skis also involve a blood alcohol level of 0.10 or higher. So, driving drunk is 0.08. So 0.10, that's just a little bit more than that.
That's a little more than 0.08. Yeah, 0.10 is.
So you don't drive your car drunk, don't drive your boat drunk, and don't go swimming drunk.
Right.
14 more times more likely to be killed in a boating accident if the person behind that wheel is over the legal limit. So don't drink and do anything.
Apparently. Yes. I don't know.
Don't drink and drink.
I drink and float in the pool.
See, that's one of these days we're going to read about you in the paper.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yep.
Yeah.
Make sure you have somebody watching out for you.
Usually do.
The sexy's gone at the Fanatic as Keon Rose was found floating at the bottom of the pool this afternoon. I can see the headlines now. Don't do that.
He fell asleep and somebody forgot to reinflate him. He just went in.
All around him in the 3D verse were several bottles of alcohol.
And I don't know why it is, but I genuinely can't float.
You can't?
I can't.
I can't float.
I sink. I tried. Either. I remember I was a kid. I was getting swimming lessons and stuff, and the instructor was just like, "No, you just lean back like this," and I was sinking more often than not.
If nobody's around,
my head is here, my body will go.
Yeah, so I got a solution for this. Float. Yeah, if nobody's around, you pour about 50 pounds of salt in the pool, and if there's salt in there, you'll float. You'll float better.
Okay, all right.
Make it a saltwater pool.
There you go.
Now that might wreak havoc on the actual filters.
Yeah.
If it's not a saltwater pool, but you'll float.
But that's true.
You're welcome.
It's a public pool. It's not my pool.
Yeah, throw some tequila, about 50 gallons of tequila in there, and you're about 2/3 of the way to a good margarita as well.
Tell you what, that is for sure a public pool. That is probably the earliest known transgender bathroom. Everybody pees in that pool. Everybody pees in that pool together, side by side. Everyone together. Just when I was a kid, a neighbor kid would be like, "Mommy, I gotta go to the bathroom. Here's 50 cents. Go to the pool." Yeah, the public pool.
Wait, go to the pool?
Yeah.
I never peed in the pool. Ever. Never.
I have another PSA.
Okay.
This could save your life.
All right.
I think the other ones probably could too, but this will save your life.
We're listening.
Denmark just banned some ramens, and you probably should stay away from them too. It's a Korean brand called Samyang, and they banned 3 versions. Buldak hot chicken ramen, 3 times spicy. Another one that's 2 times spicy. Denmark's Ministry of Food said they pulled them for having too much capsaicin, and then people have been dying. He says, the amount in a single pack is so high, there is a risk you could develop acute poisoning. Only Denmark is banning them. You can still get them on Amazon here in the United States. But they found out because people started doing these spider noodles challenge. And sometimes, there might be more. You know how you get the Dorito with all that stuff on it? Well, sometimes the packet will get the one with all that stuff in it, and the guy will eat it and die. Wow. So, maybe don't.
That's not, I've never eaten that one, and I suppose I never will.
Here, let me show you what they look like. Stay away from these.
I like living, so I'll keep doing that, thanks.
Little girl here at the house loves her some ramen. She's like all day long, she's eating the ramen. We got to make sure she didn't have any of this. All right.
I'm pretentious, though. I don't even use the packet.
What do you mean?
I season it myself, man.
Oh, no, that's good. That's the way to go. In general, it's too much salt. This one's got too much depth. So, All right, guys, we're going to talk a bunch of football in the next hour. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. See for yourself when you sign up today and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to HarmonSolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast, too. Check it out. Go to HarmonSolar.com. That's HarmonSolar.com.
Mom, where are my keys?
Why do I have to take out the garbage? I'm too sick to go to school. Quit hogging the bathroom.
If you're having a hard time living with all the noise, it's even harder to live without it. Fake pills with fentanyl are the #1 killer of youth in Arizona. Learn how to talk to your kids at TalkNowAZ.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Celebrating 30 years of AmeriCorps in Arizona looks like more than 27,000 members, 29 million hours served, nearly 75 million in scholarships, millions of lives changed. When you sign up for AmeriCorps in Arizona, you make a difference. Also, earn a living stipend, plus education scholarships. Join the movement by signing up at serve.az.gov. That's serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And yeah, Lost Toby, I guess the ramen might be cheaper than a divorce. I mean, no guarantees, but yeah, it's probably not a forgiving gift either. So. The Tom says, Iowa is scary. It's all corn and it's pitch black at night. All you can see is corn. Well, you probably see the stars and stuff. I spent a week in Iowa. Sorry, I just got the shivers. I'm never going back. Never going back. Dear God. I mean, the baby with the gun was bad enough. This is a 3-year-old walking around with a loaded handgun in Iowa City. That's bad enough. But then there's also the people. Anyway, just, just a very boring, just people. Just not a, it's not a place. I'm not sure it actually exists.
Iowa City?
Yeah, I'm not any of it. Iowa in general, just not sure.
It exists. I just looked it up. So if
like
I can
a
look
void
it up on
that's
the
there
Google.
to.
No, it's there.
That's
Yeah,
why
it's there.
Minnesota exists, to protect Canada from Iowa. It's just this weird
Is
void
that what it is? I see. Okay.
right there on the map. Baker's Cocky Hen says Keon's future drowning feels a lot like Randy's roof incident. I'm not going to drown Keon, and I did not throw Randy off the roof. As far as
Of
you know.
course not. No. Of course not.
I thought
As
we were
far
going
as
to
you
talk
know.
football.
And we should. And we should.
So yesterday, remember we talked about how Kansas City, Kansas was looking to steal the Chiefs and the Royals from Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
Because Kansas City, Missouri, and those people are like, hey, we ain't going to pay for no damn stadium. And I don't blame them. They shouldn't have to. But then the Chiefs are like, I don't know if we'll stay. The Royals are like, yeah, we're not going to stay if they're not going to stay.
Well, bye.
Well, now the Kansas House has passed a proposal to fund the Chiefs and Royals stadiums, plural.
Nice.
Kansas is so desperate for anything to happen there that they have
What do they have going for them?
We'll build you 2 stadiums, identical, right next to each other. We didn't even care.
They got University of Kansas basketball. What else?
That's it.
Yes.
Oh, they got Kansas State.
That
Okay.
Right? They got Kansas State, right? I mean,
the people of Kansas are rabid about them, but
yeah.
I just
when you talk about having you have a professional team, people will come from outside of your state to watch your team.
There is only 2.9 million people in all of Kansas. All of Kansas.
Jeffrey, that's where we need to move right there. You or I need to hit the lottery, and that's where we need to move is Kansas.
I be honest, I don't know much about Kansas.
And, you could find a nice, good spot in Kansas where you don't ever have to see anyone if you don't want to.
There it is.
Because it's Kansas.
Well,
there's a lot of land.
I decided finally. I got a map.
There's only 2.9 million people in Kansas.
So is Kansas City actually? I'm trying to. This is not a good map because it's Google. Is Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas? Is that the same place? I'm confused. Where's the difference?
No.
Where's Kansas City,
Kansas.
Missouri?
Well, Kansas City, Missouri.
This is a horrible map I'm looking at.
You know where it is. It's in Missouri.
I know that. It's in Missouri.
Kansas City, Kansas.
Where's that?
Is hang on here.
They are across the border from each other. They are 7 minutes apart.
Oh, so okay. But where is? I'm trying to find. There's a big splotch that says Kansas City. Where is the Kansas City? There's Topeka.
It's on the other side of the I-70 there.
Of the I-70.
Yeah, you've got Kansas City, Missouri, which is on one side of the I-70,
north and south almost.
And then on the other side of the I-70, there's Kansas City, Kansas.
Well, this is the dumbest damn thing.
You have the Missouri
So the city
River.
is split in half.
Well, it maybe.
Essentially.
So most of it is on the Missouri side.
Yes.
Well, like 60%. The other, so the on the other side, it's all just one city, isn't it?
So basically,
yes,
yeah, because they founded the city essentially before the state lines got drawn. I think is how that.
Do they share any? I mean, if you live, I see the state line. So if you live on, say, Riverview and 10th Street, you are paying taxes to Kansas. But if you live on Riverview on the other side, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I had no idea this was happening.
Almost more reason for Missouri to just say, see you guys later. You let them pay the taxes, and they're still right around the corner.
Do you see the river?
I think that's what they're just doing.
Do you see the river that runs between Kansas and Missouri? Okay.
Yes.
On one side of the river is Kansas City, Missouri.
Right, but then it takes a cut down south of the state line, right?
Correct.
There,
and then on the other side of that river, where the I-70 is, on the other side of that I-70 is Kansas City, Kansas.
But it's connected.
With Slaps Barbecue, which I hear is really good. But
Yep.
I've never been.
Yep.
Are there like border lines? Or there's like gates?
The Missouri River is the borderline.
No, it can't be. Here's the thing: not all of it is. The Missouri River is the border from the west part, and it comes down, squiggles around, and then there's a cut right there, and then the actual border just goes south without a river.
If you see that confluence there, where Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City is, where the Missouri River takes a hard left
to the left
there?
of it, Kansas City.
At that bend, the state line moves south at that bend right there, and it keeps going south.
Let me just say this right now: everyone in Missouri, everyone in Kansas, you're morons.
They're technically considered separate cities, though.
This is the dumbest damn thing.
They're not one city shared by two states. They are considered two separate cities,
but they're connected.
They got the Kansas Speedway.
This is what happens when you arbitrarily draw state lines. They just.
I think you know what, there needs to be some sort of a redrawing of the lines, but
see now that's another thing you can
drawn
take care
200 years ago or whatever.
So here's what I will do: is your emperor.
Yes.
The line is going to get moved. All of Kansas City becomes part of Kansas.
All right.
That will be my move as emperor. Missouri, you don't deserve it. You don't get it. What is it? Isn't St. Louis the capital? What is the capital of Missouri?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it Columbia? Where is it? Springfield? I don't know. There's a Springfield in every Midwestern state.
Has to be.
I think you're right.
It's Jefferson City.
Of course it is. Sure, why not? That's far enough away from Kansas City. Okay, so that's not going to get hurt. But yeah, all of it. I'm gonna redraw the borderline.
All right.
You unofficially redraw the borderline.
No, and I'm emperor. I'll
okay,
officially do that. Yeah, I'll take care of this later. We don't have time for this. That makes my brain.
Well, there wasn't a Kansas when the town was created. So
once they draw the lines, they should have said, "Where's Kansas City?" Oh, it's right there. Just look around it, or just stupid.
Did you think people in the 1800s were going to be practical about things?
You know what? I'll take care of it. Make me emperor. I got this. So anyway, there is a chance it might move 7 minutes away.
All right.
It's actually funnier now that I know how close they are. I didn't realize they were that close.
None of the fans give a crap. They're probably like, "Yeah, sounds fine."
Yeah. Now,
So
if
the state of Kansas is willing to pay the taxes and build this, then more power to them. That's what I would say.
But here's the thing about this that's interesting. The Kansas City, Missouri is going to be like, "No, we're not doing this." And then Kansas says, "Yeah, we'll do it." And then all the benefit is going to go over. I mean, not all of it, but a lot of they got to build these stadiums on the far west side of the Kansas City. so that none of the businesses in Kansas City, Missouri benefit from this.
How can you do that, though? Especially right now, the Chiefs are a very popular team. People go there to see, whatever team they root for play the Chiefs. So there are people going to hotels. Like, there's no way you can have no benefit go to Missouri, Kansas City.
No, I'm petty enough. Watch, I'll show you.
I mean, look, I'm willing to learn.
Far west side. Now, people will drive from the other side, but you put all everything you need on the west side, so that there's no reason to go to the east side. So
I just don't know that helps you.
Doesn't matter. It's about being petty. You need to learn this.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, but let me see if I can go ahead and separate these two things, because we're talking about a city it's not Phoenix, where here across the side from this, the two parts of this city, I got my girlfriend lives in the West Valley. I drive an hour essentially when you add traffic to go see her.
Yeah. So it's worth it. You drive an hour.
But none
of the taxes that you pay at Cardinal Stadium or at Westgate ever find their way to Tempe or Gilbert or Mesa. That's what I'm trying to say. If you just do everything on the far west side, then your fans don't mind because they just have to drive a little bit. But all the benefit of the economy goes to Kansas.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Don't put it near the border, because then Kansas City, Missouri gets a bunch of benefit that they don't deserve. F you, Kansas City, Missouri.
Now I have to clean my glasses.
So you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
You get it now, Keon?
I do. I'm just trying to see something here, because I just want to see if it's actually possible that moving it that far across stops them from getting the benefit.
I mean, somebody might go stay in a hotel.
Yeah, it's not as big as Phoenix. So the one side, from one side to the other side,
at least try
is 20 minutes.
At least try.
That means if somebody
Can I tell you something?
visits
Let me give you
the
something.
border, it's a 15-minute drive.
Listen, if I have
You're just not.
No. You got to think here. You don't understand the perspective here. You came from small town. You've already forgotten something. When I was in Palm Springs, and people will be like, "Oh my God, the traffic was horrible out there. It took me 10 minutes to get here." I was like, "Are you high?" And then after I've been there a while, one day I caught myself going, "God, it's taking forever to get some." I'm like, "Oh my God, it's happening to me too." Yeah. So the perception of things versus the reality of things, that depends on, oh God, I got to drive another 20 minutes. Oh, hell no. I'll just stay here in Kansas City, Kansas.
If I had a favorite restaurant, though, it'd be worth the 15 minutes to drive there. It's already a game day. I've already driven. I've already left my house.
I put a lot of speed bumps on every road going west.
Because you want the fans
what the hell is going on? I'm just trying to get to the stadium.
You want the fans from Kansas City, Missouri to go over and spend their money with you. But the place they probably like to eat is closer to their house. Like, I don't think that you're actually going to stop them from reaping any benefit from this.
Oh, I'll figure it out.
You've just taken on the tax dollars, and they get to still have their team 10 minutes away.
I'll listen. Okay, I'll put. There's got to be a further out area. Like you can still call it Kansas City, like Bonner Springs.
I don't
take it out to.
To me, if you want to be
Tonganoxie, how high were they when they named these places?
Well, they were Native American names.
Yeah, Native. Well, there's a lot of peyote being done.
Well, so that's not okay. They just they were speaking their language and not English. But regardless, if you really here's how you want to be petty. If you really want to be petty, because your entire state is called Kansas, don't even mess with the border. I'm moving you guys to Wichita or Manhattan, one of the other bigger cities,
Omaha,
nowhere near the border. So now,
ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Goodland Chiefs.
Well, no, you just do what we did here in Arizona with the Cardinals. They're the Kansas Chiefs. That way, you don't have to change much. You get to keep the KC logo, all of that.
Still say Kansas City.
Wichita is a very
you still can,
place.
Yeah.
It's a very
Wichita.
Small place.
All I'm saying is, if you really want to be petty and not worry about who's getting the benefit there, we're moving you guys to Manhattan, Kansas, and congratulations, you're nowhere near original Kansas City. They can't come here without spending money here in Kansas.
I think that we can meet in the middle and just put it in DeSoto. Just right there. JT's Grill is close. The Oak Country Golf Course is right there. Taco Bell. They got a Taco Bell.
They do have a
Hey,
Taco Bell.
there you go.
A few modern comforts in DeSoto, Kansas.
No, moist one. I didn't say Boner Springs. It's Bonner Springs. Jesus Christ. The Tom says Kansas is affordable, but all the darn tornadoes. I'll pass.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
They got them in Missouri too.
Yeah, there's no difference at that point. You know?
T. Lisher says should have went to Dryersville, Iowa. That's where the Field of Dreams is. I hope the Chiefs move to the Arctic Circle. By the way,
why do you think there was a Field of Dreams there? Could it be that there was nothing there but a field? You might need a little bit more than that if you want to make some money.
Not according to Edward James Olmos.
Okay, well,
wait, no,
it's a hard person to argue with.
No, that's the wrong guy.
He's got a very authoritative voice. It's
no. Edward James Olmos was the guy from Miami Vice. Hold on, or Battlestar Galactica. Who was I thinking?
Also Blade Runner.
Oh my God,
Roy.
Yeah, but well, how can I remember it? James Earl Jones. That's who I was thinking.
Even more authoritative voice. Good Lord.
Both of those guys are intimidating as hell if they want to be.
Yeah. And intimidating just when you hear them. They don't even, if you never saw him, you just heard James Earl Jones's voice from around a corner, you'd be a little intimidated.
That's like the dad, like a dad voice, grandpa voice, where you hear it, you're not scared, but you're like, okay. But then when you hear the voice of Edward James Olmos, you think there's a good chance I'll be stabbed. So I'm going to listen to that guy. Big George says it's bipartisan too. Both Democrats and Republicans in Kansas on board with the new stadiums. Democratic governor said she'll sign it because they have nothing else.
It's Kansas.
Of course they're going to do this. Bruno Baller says what's also interesting is that St. Louis is in Missouri, but East St. Louis is in Illinois.
That is correct.
I'm about to quit America.
Yeah,
This is what is happening. Why? It's just when they were drawing the state lines, and I understand you obviously you found these cities in uncharted territories at the time to the Europeans that were there from their point of view. However, once you start drawing the lines, you could pay attention to where actual towns and cities are located. Just what is the point of drawing those maps and having Lewis and Clark go out and explore if you weren't going to use the maps to figure out where to locate everything on them? I don't understand this.
This is going to be one of the top 20 things I'll fix when I'm emperor. I'll take care of this. So another thing we talked about yesterday, Bill Belichick, creepy Belichick, 72 years old, dating a 24-year-old cheerleader. When they first met on a plane, they had a nice conversation, and he gave her his autograph in her textbook. That's right. She had her homework with her.
Oh, boy.
Doesn't that just make it even creepier?
Yes. It makes it infinitely creepier because how do you see that and not think to yourself? Just have like a moment of, what am I doing?
She's doing homework, Bill. This is like Bill's going to do one of my favorite jokes. Ready? I came home and my girlfriend Jordan was packing, and as I said, "Well, why are you packing?" And she says, "I'm leaving you, Bill." So I say, "Why?" And she says, "I just found out you're a pedophile." And I said, "Well, that's a real big word for an 8-year-old. Thank you.
Well done, Bill.
Yeah. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
NHL Stanley Cup Finals, there will be a Game 6, and it'll be on Friday night at Edmonton as the Oilers took Game 5 in Florida, beating the Panthers 5-3. Connor McDavid with 2 goals as Edmonton scored 3 in the second period. The Panthers still lead this series 3-2, but Edmonton will be hosting Game 6, where they're a goal and a half favorite, plus 215 on the puck line. The Panthers getting a goal and a half, minus 265. On the money line, Florida is plus 102, Edmonton minus 122, with the over-under goal total at 5.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every goal, every game, every point, every play. From the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a game-winning goal in the final seconds of overtime or a shot on goal in the first period, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Number one Rattlers fan says, how come the state of Arkansas is pronounced with a W at the end and Kansas City, Kansas isn't? Yeah. Why don't they call it Arkansas?
I don't know exactly what it is about Arkansas that where they derived that particular name. I know that Kansas derives their name from the Kansa tribe that was in that area. So I don't know if Arkansas is a connected name, because then that would be weird. Or
wow, so we steal their land and then we steal their names for our cities. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean
that was rude.
that's what most of the Midwest and South is essentially.
Maybe when I'm emperor, I'll go through and I'll name certain towns like Hunkyville, stuff like that. Just take away some of them cool Indian names. And
what about Funky Town?
No, that goes to places we like. Funky Town's a good place. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, listen. Okay, let's. I want to try Ozempic.
Yeah, well, good luck getting it.
Well, I'm just saying, I got to figure out a way. Because I got about 25 pounds to lose and I'm lazy. So I could do Ozempic.
Just want to do
or
the,
something.
the Ozempic. Okay. All right.
Because I can't get away with what George Kittle did. He lost 30 pounds, but he had core muscle surgery. That's why he lost 30 pounds. Evidently, they scooped out 30 pounds of his core muscle, and then they tied it back up and they sewed him up, and then they.
Oh man.
I don't know if that's really medically how it works.
Oh.
But he says he's almost 100% back to normal. But he says, yeah, I couldn't do any upper body because my shoulder and rib. I couldn't do lower body because my core surgery. I didn't lift from the Super Bowl until like mid-March. Went a month without doing anything, really. I wasn't supposed to do anything, so I did it. And he says, I was 250 pounds last season. and he says, "Yeah, now he's 220."
Yeah,
George
that,
Kittle's
that means that's a lot of muscle he lost.
Yeah,
he got some of it back. He got 20 of it back. Now he says, "Yeah, I got 10 more pounds. I'll be back to where I want to be."
Oh,
and he's got time to do it.
Yeah. But wow, yeah, that's
Can I get core muscle surgery?
But you'll lose your muscles. It's not.
So?
Yeah, you need your muscles.
What do I need my muscles for?
Why don't you just have liposuction?
Presumably, if you want to lose weight, the weight you're trying to lose is fat. If you have your muscles lost,
yeah,
you still you look fatter.
You still
actually.
have your fat.
Yeah. Listen, I don't need to sit up out of bed. I can pull myself up with a rope.
Sure, I'm just saying you'll look fatter. So if the point is to look less fat, then you're actually defeating yourself.
Liposuction, man, that's the way it is.
I feel like that hurts for a while after.
I don't think
core muscle surgery doesn't.
Core muscle surgery is extremely.
It has
painful.
to be more painful because
Trust
cutting
me.
through muscle and having that
They
repair
make this so hard.
is not a good time.
Get the liposuction, Jeffco.
I don't want to. I don't want that. That sounds painful. I'll do the Ozempic.
Do the Ozempic then.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them. I don't know if I give myself a shot in the stomach every week though.
Yes, it is once a week, I believe.
Once you get used to it,
Does
I can't
it have to be
imagine
the
it's that
stomach?
bad.
Stomach or the thigh, the upper thigh. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, what are these crazy people sticking it in their stomach for?
You actually have. There are points on your stomach where there aren't like a ton of nerves. It actually doesn't hurt really. So
This
that's why
little
they try
part
to
of
go
my stomach right here is still dead from the liver surgery that I had 17 years ago.
You can't feel nothing?
I don't feel anything.
Can I punch you there hard and you won't feel nothing?
Oh, I would feel that.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I have to take another medicine and I jab it right in that area.
Baker's Cocky Hen says Ozempic is half-assed. Go full out with full glutides instead of semi-glutides. Where can I get some glutides?
At
the glue factory? I don't know where you would get some glutides.
It's usually in places where they do the hormone therapy and all that for people with the low T or whatever. Like a lot of those places also do that there.
I'd like to get me some of that. Throw in some extra tea. Why not?
Guys.
Well, then you.
I feel like I haven't had enough
muscle-
road rage.
build,
You know what I mean?
build muscle faster, and there you go.
Losing weight, getting angry.
Yeah.
Shrinking my wiener. You know.
Oh, wow.
All those things. Maybe I'll skip the T and just stick with the Z, the Ozempic.
Yeah.
Lose some weight. Big George says, you do have the stomach for Ozempic. Trust me from experience.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. George, you did it. How's that going for you? Did you poop your pants? That was a concern. There people were pooping their pants.
And did it work for you? Did it give you the results you were
Can you
looking for
imagine
as
Big
well, or is
George
it
with
just
diarrhea?
diabetes?
Dude, you've seen mudslides?
That's what
that is terrifying thought. That is a terrifying thought. Trees, houses.
Oh boy.
Silos. Everybody get up. Go high ground.
Get the higher ground quick.
George is at Taco Bell. Anyway, so George Kittle, he's going to be fine. I guess that's I think that's the main point we're trying to make here right now.
Well, congratulations, George.
Hey, the UFL, I guess they had some so they made it. Here's the headline. UFL announces 8 players signed with NFL teams. And I think since this came out today, a couple more guys did. So I think we're up to like 10. Most of them are kickers. So does that really count?
So then that's not really that. Actually, that headline is maybe a bit
I don't know.
false.
Let's see. They got a defensive end
Yeah.
signing with the Vikings. I'm not going to say their names because you won't know who they are.
Well, maybe they played in
there's
college at least, you know.
cornerback signed with the Cowboys, a guard with the Patriots, a receiver going to the Panthers, kicker. I think an O lineman going to the Jets, linebacker for the Cowboys. Cowboys are just really cleaning up in the
Loading up
the
on
Uffle.
those awful guys.
Well, it makes sense. They didn't do a whole lot in the draft, and they did even less in free agency. You do need human beings on your roster at this time of year, even if you don't intend for them to play significant minutes for you. You need people there.
Is this a good number or is this like a low number? 10 guys from the Uffle heading to the NFL.
I mean, 10's a good number. Yeah. Because they have less teams than in the NFL. Like that 10's a solid number of guys.
You only have what, 6 teams?
It makes sense though. Some of these guys who are on the fringe, they'll go play for the Uffle or the AF or the XFL, whatever the hell the spring football of the year is. And they'll get noticed. They'll get maybe some tape together and try to get themselves on a team that's desperate. And that's exactly what just happened. Big George says, what I meant to say is you have to inject it in the stomach for Ozempic. I did not say you have the stomach for Ozempic. Well, that's exactly what you said. He says, I did it for a while and it worked, except for I had massive diarrhea all the time and I had to stop. Neighboring towns were begging me. Okay, I added that last sentence. I did add that last sentence.
Big George.
Our infrastructure. We lost a bridge, George. We lost a bridge.
You lost a bridge.
Poor George.
Number one Rattlers fan says, I lost 46 pounds in 5 months on this Trulicity. Now that I'm done, I got 3 boxes I'm going to get rid of. Let me know if you want it.
The Trulicity is what
is Trulicity?
It's in that same vein of like it helps you lose weight by basically reducing your appetite. You're just not hungry.
I feel like I should be under the care of a doctor, number one Rattler fan, but I appreciate that. Thanks, man. My wife is like, or we have a gym in our house.
Yes. There's that.
I just give her a look like you just don't understand anything.
Do a little cardio, you know what I mean?
She works out every day. Every day she's in there working out.
That's the best way to do it if you can. You know, if you're one of these people that you work out and it really isn't doing a whole lot for you, okay, sure. But if you're not one of those people, man, just go to the gym.
I just realized something though. I just don't want to.
Which is fine. Like once you admit that to yourself, like and there you go.
I'd rather have a hot dog than work out.
So then that's what that is.
I don't even eat bad. I don't even eat like tons. I'm not like gorging myself. I'm not like I don't want to work out. I mean, and I didn't realize it about myself until I had no more excuses. And I'm like, there's so many other things I'd rather be doing right now than going in there and doing that.
When I go to the gym, that is exactly how I feel. And I still drag my ass to the gym.
I'm not to that drag my ass point yet.
It's just
I have to drag my ass at least 15 feet that way.
I like when I go to the gyms, there's some days I don't want to be there. I take it easy that day, but I get in every day. Like that's the only thing.
I know you have to. You have to make yourself do it. You have to get there in your head. You have to be disciplined. And I'm just like, I'm pretty disciplined. I just don't want to. That's the thing. I don't want to.
Yeah. It's hard to, the discipline doesn't mean anything if you don't have the desire to be there doing
I can discipline myself in many different ways. That sounded wrong. I can
I look down at my gut and I go, I hate you and I wish you were somewhere else. And that's why I go to the gym every day, to make it go somewhere else.
When my wife has packed her last belonging on the U-Haul truck, that's probably when I'll step up on the treadmill. I'll be like, oh, okay.
And not 1 second sooner.
And I'll be like, where's the treadmill? Oh, crap. She took that too.
She took it. Okay. Well, now you can't.
Now I don't have to. Now I have a new excuse.
There's no treadmill.
She took my treadmill. It was never mine. It was hers. Anyway, yeah. So I know I gotta do something. She was like, hey, we're going to get in here and get on this elliptical. I said, I told you, I'm not getting on the elliptical until I've been on the treadmill, because the elliptical, I feel like my legs will break because it's
Yeah, no, I don't use the elliptical.
I have invited her to sit on the stairs midway and in a quiet house and listen to me walk up them. All the noises my joints make.
I do the stationary bike and I go slow and I'm there for an hour.
Do you hear noises when you are on the bike?
No, because my goal is not to go fast. I just do it for you go for half an hour to an hour. You'll burn enough calories that it's worth the time. And I don't hate myself when it's done because I didn't try to ride like I was in the Tour de France.
What's the level you have it on, Keon?
8.
Wow.
I feel like all the romance left my relationship when she turned around and saw me walking on the treadmill with a 2. She's like, "Is that it?" I'm like, "Do I need more?" She's like, "Yeah."
Well, not if you walk for a longer time.
Oh, a half hour is good.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Half hour to 2? How far did I get? I don't know.
They say if you walk for a half hour a day, that's already.
I'm already. Here's what she told
like
me.
100
She says,
calories right there.
when we get old, she says, when we're in our 70s, and I'm like, yeah, when you're in your 70s, but when we get old, all it takes for exercise is just walking. That's all you got to do. Your body needs less when you're older, so then just going on an occasional walk will be enough. So I'm like, I could do that now. Yeah, I'm working out like an old person right now. So I'm on that treadmill, and it's like
half an hour.
When
of
she's
walking.
on it, it's like,
yeah, like they're definitely. I see
when
those
I'm
people
on
at
it,
the
it's
gym. And more power to those people that go out there and they run like it's a damn 100-meter sprint. But for me, I have one gym rule, and that is to do things at the gym that don't make me hate the gym. And that would make me hate the gym. Gym membership is too damn expensive. I need to make that worth my money. So I can't hate the gym because it's costing me.
Yeah, I just have a room right over there, so I've got nothing to guilt myself with.
Like, yeah, you already have it. Everything that you need's already been paid for.
And my wife, her culture, she's just like, your man being gordo, that's a good thing. Gordo is what she says, gordo. Being a little chub, a little well-fed, that's a good thing in the Spanish culture. So to her, I'm a hot piece of ass right here. I mean, she says that. I don't believe her for a second.
All right. Well,
but she says that. I don't know. I know I got to figure out something. I just can't seem to do it. I don't know. Baker's Cocky Hen says, kudos to Keon for doing what needs to be done, even when you don't want to. You're unlike most of America at this point.
Well, it's just you have to do it one day, and once you get that ball rolling, you just keep it rolling.
Moist One says, only discipline I have comes from my dominatrix, Olga.
Wow. Thanks for sharing.
I once again learned more things about Moist One that I
that you can
never
afford a dominatrix.
Literally did not want to know.
Booze and Raider says, hey, Jeffrey, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. That's part of life. No, I don't.
The thing is, if you're okay with the consequences of not doing things, you don't have to. If you know what the consequences are and you just don't do them.
Yeah, trust me, man. They add up. Trust me.
Yeah.
I don't like looking this way, but I also don't feel like working out.
Well, there you go. I don't like looking like I look, but I'm incredibly motivated to work out just to not have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good for you, man.
It's very
Good for
nice.
I know I got to do something. I guess I'm probably still trying to intellectually figure out a way out. I'm trying to just figure it. There is no way around this, but I'm just like, yeah, but maybe it'll come to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing that.
Like, as long as if you're not gonna go to the gym, if you watch what you eat, you're probably doing all right.
Yeah, but watching
I
what you're eating.
watch how I eat. I watch it all the way into my mouth. You kidding me?
I never miss a bite. Look at me. I never miss a bite.
I watch it all the time.
On the
watched
spoon,
a piece of
going
steak
right to my
just
face.
this afternoon. I mean,
watched
I had
it.
a whole.
It was a
whole half
magic
a
trick.
T-bone.
You watched it disappear.
Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, chewed it up good. Yeah.
That's
Beer
awesome.
Bob says, Jeffrey, are you sure she says hot when she calls you a piece of ass? I don't know. I just hear the word ass and assume hot piece of is somewhere in that sentence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She might just be calling me an ass for all I know. All right, we got to take a break. We come back. We've got On This Date in Big Georgia's sports history. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Hey, everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right. They're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona. And they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach, be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940, or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Before you fly, take a trip to your local MVD office or authorized third-party provider with your required documents and get the new AZ Travel ID with the Gold Star for your new driver's license or ID. Starting May 2025, this new AZ Travel ID gets you through TSA security checkpoints. It's quick and easy. Think of it as your license to fly. Learn how to get your new ID at aztravelid.com. Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. We believe that every sport should be epic. Every home run, every hit, every inning, every play, from the moments that are legendary to the ones that fly under the radar. Whether it's a walk-off grand slam or a base hit to center field, whatever the sport, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem or wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342.
I'm here to tell you about a technological shocker. Believe it or not, you can listen to us on your smart speaker.
That's shocking.
Wow. What a world we live in. All you have to do is say, listen to 1580 The Fanatic.
Pleasure here on 1580 The Fanatic. And remember, tomorrow, Phoenix Mercury fans, your favorite Mercury players are going to be at the Fry's Food Store location on Tatum and Shea, starting at 3 p.m. Go on down, say hello, grab a photo, and just meet the gals there. Friday's Food Store, 4707 East Shea Boulevard in Phoenix. That's right, Fry's Food Store, 3 p.m. And meet the Phoenix Mercury. 888-368-1580. Baker's Cocky Hen says, I picture Moist One as Quagmire every time he texts in. Like a quiet, creepier Quagmire, yeah. Instead of giggity, he's more like giggity. Yeah.
That is worse. That is worse. I didn't think it could get worse. It's worse. It's worse.
And when I met him, I shook his hand, and it was moist.
It was moist.
That is not a joke. That is a true statement. I think we need to do on this date in Big George's history, probably sooner than later because it's a long one.
All right.
But it's a good one.
Ready when you are, CB.
Let's do it now. Let's go ahead and do it.
All
It's time for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1999, former Negro League star Ted Double Duty Radcliffe became the oldest player to ever appear in a professional baseball game when at the age of 96, he took the mound in a Northern League game for the Schaumburg Flyers and threw one pitch, and it was a strike right down the middle before he left the game to a standing ovation. Back to me, Jeffrey.
96.
Yeah, here's the thing about Double Duty. During his 36-year career, 36 years in the Negro League, Double Duty had a .303 batting average.
Wow.
4,000 hits, 400 home runs. And throughout his career, double duty had to endure racial segregation. He had to stay in segregated hotels, eat in segregated restaurants. And Radcliffe, one time in an interview with the Boston Globe, he's like, yeah, we were stopping the team car to buy gas in Georgia. And when the players tried to drink water from a car wash hose, the owner of the gas station said, put that down. That's for white folks to drink from. So Radcliffe got mad. And he's like, I refuse to buy any gas then. We just, we got back in the car and we started driving. 4 miles down the road, we ran out of gas. Didn't care. We pushed that thing 5 more miles before we finally got some gas from a nice place. And so he's like, yeah, the hell with this guy.
You're not getting 1 cent.
I don't blame him.
Me neither.
So after his 100th birthday, double duty celebrated every year by throwing a ceremonial first pitch for the Chicago White Sox at Cellular Field. So when he died in 2005, at the age of 103, he was thought to be the oldest living professional baseball player.
Wow. Good for him,
incredible.
man.
Yeah.
Way to go, double duty. So
4,000 hits. So if all the Negro League records and stats have been added to baseball, that should end up in the Hall of Fame, right? He should be the hits king, right?
There's
4,000 hits.
Well, 36 years and 4,000 hits. I don't know how they would place him in the line.
Who cares?
I know there's other guys with like 5,000 hits, I think.
No, I haven't seen anybody with 5,000 base hits.
Really?
Yeah, it's
yeah, where does that put him in the list?
Ichiro Suzuki, he only had I think 4,100 hits. So that would put him like number 2.
Or in the top 10 at least, yeah.
Well, you would think.
Well, yeah,
Pete
that's
Rose
awesome.
is still listed under Ichiro's the number 2, and he's got 3,747 hits.
Well, double duty's name is Ted Radcliffe, so I guess then he should be at least within the top 5 or top, like you say, he should be number 2.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, man. About time they got these stats together. Hey, look, it's Sun Devil Raul. He says, hello, everyone. My condolences to the GOAT, Willie Mays. Man, I guess thought that celebrity deaths happen in threes really do sometimes. Well, who were the other 2? I mean, Willie Mays is like, he's in a class by himself.
I know we got Jerry West.
Oh, that's right. Jerry West a couple days ago.
And then, I don't know. Are we missing, who'd the third person be?
Not it.
Not it.
Okay. Of course, he said celebrity, so all of us not
none
it.
of us qualify.
I don't think Regis Philbin. Yes, Moist One. I think that's it.
All right.
Regis, I didn't even hear about that one.
Well, he died like 10 years ago.
Okay,
Ichiro Suzuki notched 4,367 hits.
Oh, Bill Walton.
Second, well, Bill Walton.
Yeah,
just recently. There you go.
Bat flipper, Sun Devil Raul. So Bill Walton, Jerry West, and now Willie Mays. No more deaths, please. But I'm sorry. Go back to the stats there.
I was saying Suzuki at 4,367. Pete Rose has 4,863, and so 4,000. I mean, I would imagine that's got to be third on the list. If not top 5.
Well, if they've integrated all the stats, then yeah. Yeah, I mean that's awesome. That's no small number.
It is not.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, so does this remove Pete Rose from the Hall of Fame entirely? Well, he's not in the Hall of Fame, is he?
Well, I think he's under the hits, but it's you got Ty Cobb is at 4,191, Hank Aaron, Stan Musial, both of them at 30 right around 3,700. Pete Rose is listed at 4,256. That would make Suzuki number 1 with.
Well, that means that double duty should be right below Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb, yeah, absolutely.
Rarefied air, man. Sun Devil Raul says, speaking of that great baseball player, I had a double duty the other day. Got some bad Mexican food. Oh, yeah, been there. Been there, man. Beer Bob says, hey, did I just hear you promo for the Phoenix Mercury? Jeffrey, please blink twice if you're being held against your will. No, it's this cool thing they're doing over at Friars, man. It's cool. Let's see. The Tom says, Moist One seems like Chris Elliott character from Scary Movie 2.
I don't remember that movie.
I did not see that movie.
So
but I believe you, Tom. I mean, just saying Chris Elliott's enough. I can see how Chris Elliott has played some super duper creepies throughout his entire career. Let's see. 888-368-1580. Well, we should talk some more football while we have some time.
Why not? We've got the time. Let's use it.
Haven't talked nearly enough football lately. So, so Dan Campbell says the other day, he's like, hey, we have targets on our back, but we've got our targets too.
Okay.
What? Has he like written down a list of like numbered?
I really don't think he has. Just watching when the Lions were on Hard Knocks, I really think that Dan, all that's in his head are coach phrases. And anytime you put a microphone in his face, that's all that comes out of his mouth.
Coach speak.
Yep.
Do you think he knew and doesn't care that he lost a practice because of the violating the OTA rules?
I think he doesn't care. No,
he's like, we get the day off, everybody. But
you guys go lift.
I think it's very dumb that he did it. It's just what do you gain from that? You have more
I'm
to lose than you have
that.
to gain from doing that. But
Big George says, having met Moist One, he actually reminds me more of a creepy Keanu Reeves as opposed to Chris Elliott because he's quiet. Yeah, probably because he's quiet.
Yeah.
Moist One says, you think I got a shot with Sophia Cunningham?
No. Not if you say any of the creepy things to us. You're saying the creepy things to her that you say to us. Sophie Cunningham, she plays for the Mercury.
Right.
So if Moist One were to go to Fry's and meet Sophie Cunningham,
you have more of a chance with Regis Philbin, who died in 2020, by the way.
That long? Wow.
Yeah. I thought it was longer, to be honest.
I thought it was.
Did he die of COVID?
Some reason I didn't hear that name.
Died of death.
He died of death. He died of joy.
Who's Joy? Did they arrest her?
His wife.
You're welcome, America.
Jordan Love. I feel like when I saw this, when I read this, I thought, does it? Jordan Love said not having a number one receiver on the Packers, he says, no, that's a good thing. Puts more stress on defenses.
I think I understand his thought process.
No, it doesn't. He's wrong.
I don't agree, but I understand what he was thinking when he said it.
Right, because now you don't know where the ball is going to go because there's not a number one. So could be that guy over here or that guy over there. You don't think they know your personnel? You think they won't know who you're probably going to gravitate towards? You may think you don't have a number one receiver, Jordan, but you do. It's either statistically or somebody with eyeballs can see, hey, he's throwing to Romeo Dobbs over there, or he's throwing to Jaden Reed over there more. Trust me, you have a number one receiver. Might not be a great one, but you have one. And even then, okay, so now you got a couple of decent cornerbacks out there. We're good. We're fine. We don't have to stress out about it. That's less stress when you go up against a team that doesn't have a star receiver.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be one thing if he was saying we have two receivers that could each be a number one. But I think we all know that's not true, which is why you didn't say that. You have two guys that are two. You have two number twos, so you're not stressing anybody because these aren't guys that if you leave them one-on-one with a defensive back, it's over. Like that's what Tyreek Hill is. You leave him one-on-one with somebody, the play's done. If you don't have any help for Tyreek Hill, you don't have any help for Romeo Dobbs. Like he's still good, but it's not a death sentence for your defense. So what stress are we talking about here? He's thinking like a quarterback though. Like he's thinking, who knows where I could go with the ball. Your defense is thinking, we don't really care. It doesn't matter where you go with the ball. Neither of these guys scares us.
It's probably not a great thing that, let's say I came on this show and said, hey, listen, I don't have to have another talented person on the show with me. That just puts more stress on the competition out there. So I got Keon and Randy. I mean, Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs sitting there going,
What?
I mean,
Look,
I know that Jordan's not trying to insult him. He's probably not. I like
can
throwing.
hear you.
I like throwing to both of those guys. But what he's accidentally saying is neither of these guys is particularly scary.
Yeah, they're not. The receivers suck. So
Hey,
whatever happens this season, it's not on me. It's because you didn't give me a number one receiver.
But that's not what he's actually saying. It's just the part that is implied from all of that. Jordan Love is like, you see him in interviews. The guy's just not like that. He just genuinely thinks he's got two good receivers, but he doesn't have a great receiver.
Jordan.
And you'd rather have one great one than two guys who are good.
You just say, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs. Hey, I got two number one receivers.
I think that if he were asked more directly, how would you rank those guys? I think he would have lied, but they didn't ask him that. So he answered the question in a kind of straight up way. He's not trying to say that those guys are bad guys. I think he assumes that they're good because they're his receivers, but there's a way that they could take that the wrong way. And I do.
Be worse is like after he says that, and then Jaden Reed and Romeo Dobbs hear about this, right? They're kind of salty, and he goes over to their lockers and says, "Hey guys, do you know when Christian Watson's coming back? Do you know? God, I hope it's soon."
You have no idea.
Baker's Cocky Hen says Jordan Love went to the same college as Aaron Rodgers. Jeffrey, yeah, grade A education right there.
Did he? Jordan Love went to Utah.
I don't know. Baker's Jockey Hens.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's true at all. Aaron Rodgers played at Cal.
It's time to end the show today. Yeah. I got to go barbecue some chicken. How about you guys?
Not me. No, I'm off the grill tonight.
I was looking at a smoker the other day at the $1,200, Randy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not buying that one.
Why not?
Utah State. So still not Cal.
We're talking smokers, Keon. Gosh.
Oh, now we're out of time. See you guys tomorrow. Daily Blend.